Greetings and welcome to the Miskatonic Playhouse, where all creatures of the mythos are welcome, as long as they clean up after themselves. We don't want any lingering messes. Tonight's scenario, A Midsummer Night's Darkness, was written by Jane Routley and is available through the Miskatonic repository on DriveThruRPG. As always, we encourage all of our viewers to watch this actual play at their own discretion. Any potential triggers have already been discussed with the cast, and all safety protocols are in place. Now, today is a very special day. Today, Saturday, March 8th, is International Women's Day. So on this, we will draw back the curtain on early 1900s England, Shropshire to be exact. However, while our geographic focus may be narrow, the scope of the work done by the brave women and their allies during the suffrage movement of over 100 years ago continues to this very day. The women's suffrage movement was a global campaign that lasted for decades to secure the voting rights for women. While the organized movement began in earnest in the mid-1800s around the world, the fight for a woman's right to vote has been going on for far longer. Activists used a variety of tactics, including lecturing, writing, marching, picketing, and yes, even civil disobedience, utilizing every available option to share their message and garner support for their cause. The women and their male allies traveled throughout their respective countries, including into the rural farmlands and mountain communities, by caravan, wagon, and even on foot, to reach people otherwise disconnected from the hub of political forums and news centers of the urban areas. But the fight was not without peril. Retaliatory tactics were used against those who dared speak out in favor of a woman's right to vote. Those tactics range from as simple as demeaning and belittling speeches, cartoons, and editorials, to direct violence and bodily harm. Suffragettes were imprisoned in jails and in sanitariums. They were force-fed during their hunger strikes, and many were shunned by their own families, friends, and places of work and worship. Businesses and organizations that aligned themselves with the movement risked becoming the subject of hostility and aggression. Needless to say, the life of a suffragette was one of both peril and of great courage. So tonight, we honor all those who have fought before us through, well, in our own way, through this wonderful scenario, A Midsummer's Night's Darkness, where we follow a small group of suffragettes and their allies through the 1909 world of England. But before we begin our caravanning tour of rural Shropshire, let's meet the brave souls of tonight's cast. My suffragettes and allies, please introduce yourself and your character. And let's start with Rina.
Hey everyone, I'm Rina. My pronouns are they, them. And tonight I will be playing Lady Caroline Montague-Philips, who is a member of the aristocracy, pronouns she, her. And, well, we're going to take the fight where we need to take it. Maybe not literally. My family wasn't too happy about it last time, but we'll see what happens.
Moving on, Lydia.
Hi everybody, I'm Lydia and I'm playing laundry worker from Manchester, Polly Wentworth. Polly is a young working class girl. She's definitely got the common touch. She came to the women's suffrage movement through the trade union movement. Manchester having always been a city and very much full of liberal ideas and progressive ideas, and the trade union movement was quite strong there. So Polly is a good friend of Lady Caroline, even though they come from very, very different worlds. As I said, Polly is a working class girl and she's worked in a laundry most of her life. but she's not going to let herself be pushed around by the upper class. And she's always found a real strength in Lady Caroline. And yes, they get on very well.
And moving on to Embroidered Yeti.
Hello, I am Yeti and I'll be playing Dr. Sylvia Brown, who's a physician from Australia, where they've had suffrage for a couple of years now. And so she's come to England to help her sisters. And if any, ailing young or prospective mothers should be met along this mission, then I'll be there for them.
And last but absolutely not least, directly from the wonderful world of Chaosium, we are blessed to have Lynne.
I'm Lynne Hardy, pronoun she, her. And this evening, I'm going to play a dilettante. And his name is Lord Binky Montague-Philips, better known as Lady Caroline's younger brother. And he's a firm supporter of women's suffrage, but he's mostly here just to make sure that Lady Caroline is safe, and all her friends are safe as well. I mean, he's a bit useless, let's face it, but he's going to do his best.
And I am your keeper for tonight's festivities. I am ValyGirl Heather, pronoun she, her. And well, on that note, without further ado, let us turn back the hands of the clock to the June of 1909. The summer weather is warm, the air is sweet, and our caravan is pulling into its next stop on its rural tour, the tiny village of Damsley. So, everyone, let us begin. All of you have been traveling for several days in this small wooden caravan. It has been stuffed with camping gear, tents, and of course, leaflets to pass out to any of the villages, the local farmers, anyone that you come across in attempting to gain support for the movement. You began in Shrewsbury and are now about 50 miles out in a remote district of woods and hills. You've been traveling from village to village, giving speeches on the voting rights for women, forming alliances, and trying to put together maybe some local suffrage groups so that they too can continue for the cause. Now, this tour has been a mixture of both work and play. I mean, it is summer after all. The weather has been lovely. You have a couple of bicycles attached, kind of hooked onto the back of this caravan that you bring. It's when you meet like-minded people, it's great because there's been a fantastic exchange of ideas, and seeing people kind of come into the movement has been very rewarding. Admittedly, the work part, it's been tough because at this point in England's history, especially with voting rights, really, unless you were a white male who owned land, owned homes, owned property, you were not really allowed to vote. And a lot of the farmers, and especially the people in the rural areas, the men who worked these fields, these men and women, they didn't own the property and therefore did not have any voting rights as it was, which caused what basically presented one more hurdle, not just women's right to vote, but convincing the men that this was also a good idea, even if they didn't currently have the right to vote. Because as you lift one ship, you can lift all the ships, which was the message you bring. You, at this point, have been, it's about roughly midday when you reach the small village of Damsley. Now, there's a market going on. There are tables and a couple of booths are close enough. People have brought their wares in. Farmers are selling all various produce, and you see some meats and big chickens and eggs and even milk. So this, is a great time because so many people will be, concentrated in one space to be able to talk to them. You enter the town and you leaflets in hand, and you begin going out and speaking with the locals. You have been doing this kind of mingling amongst the crowd, passing out, talking one-on-one a little bit as you prepare, maybe for about the last hour. And then it comes time for the speeches. That's when the proverbial soapbox, an actual wooden soapbox, comes out, standing in front of the caravan. And a speech begins. Who is giving the speech?
I think Lady Carolyn is very much into speechifying, and she's used to talking to people from having to give little welcomes at her mother's society events and things from when she was younger. So I don't think she's too shy about jumping up on the soapbox.
Okay. So, Lady Caroline, you get up on the soapbox and you begin your well-rehearsed speech, talking to the crowd about how the rights, women are basically half of the population. They are the ones who bear the burden with bearing and raising children, about how all the housework, how they generally make the decisions in a lot of ways within the household, about how women's voices matter. And as you continue, some of the heckling starts. A man may start to, laugh, a few kind of point, and then what you kind of hear the murmuring through the crowd. Interfering posh bint. You hear, this is not unusual to you.
And I say, my good man, that's just not called for at all.
Oh, why would we want to give you the vote? All you will do is scream and cry every time that something comes up.
Sounds to me like you're the one who's screaming and crying at any brand new ideas coming your way, my good sir.
A little bit of a laughter kind of ripples through the crowd. As he turns and walks away with a couple of his buddies towards what you're pretty sure is the pub. Another one. Hey, what about us men? Not all of us men even have the vote. Why should we give it to you?
None of us are equal until all of us are equal.
Well said, well said. Look, you're a working man, I can tell. And you work hard, and so do the women. Equality, that's what we want. When one of us has a voice, then the rest of us need a voice as well.
Well, we should get the vote first. All men should have the vote, not just these landowners. Just because they're not the ones out here working the land, we are.
Why should it be first? Why not everyone get the right to vote all at the same time?
Hear, hear.
Here, here.
Yeah, pipe down. Yeah, women. Just never satisfied. Always upset about something.
We've got a lot to be upset about, mate.
I would like those who are speaking. Let's start with Lady Caroline. Could you please roll me either persuasion or charisma? I will give you a chance for either.
My persuade is 70, so we're going to go with that.
Okay.
Okay, and that is a 5.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So you continue talking. Your words do seem to be reaching. You can see in their eyes and some of the body language that you are witnessing. You've been doing this for a while, so reading people is not hard for you. You can kind of tell when the crowd's either going to turn or you're just going to get the handful of detractors. And in this case, you seem to definitely be reaching the people. A lot of the women, you get the impression, are very interested. They're listening. They are hearing what you are saying. You do have some of the men who are still kind of poo-pooing and they're laughing, and you can tell they're some of the crude jokes that are kind of making it their way up to your ears. But some of the men seem to be in agreement, whether it's because, they don't have a vote and maybe this would help their cause or not. You're not sure, but your reach is, your voice and your words are definitely making a difference in this case. There's some clapping and cheering as you go through and wrap up your speech with fiery gusto. And then afterwards, several of the women and even a few of the men in the market come up to the group of you, asking a few questions, getting some information. You're passing out flyers left and right. And the local postmaster comes up to you, Lady Caroline. His wife is next to him, and she is, you can tell, kind of urging him on with a big smile on her face. My lady, I am the postmaster for the town. My wife here would like to, we would both like to invite you for, and your party for afternoon tea.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And he gives you directions to a house a little ways out from the main part of town. Now, a couple of questions for the group. Your caravan is pulled by a horse. It's a beautiful horse, beautiful brown, strong and sturdy, and has carried you for all of this journey so far. Who would like to name the horse? Do we have a name for the horse?
Probably Binky's horse.
It's probably Binky's horse. Which means it should probably have a noble name, but I think it's really going to have to just be Chestnut. Because of his colour. Binky's not the most imaginative of people, bless him. So yes, Chestnut.
I was going to suggest Hippolyta, but I think Chestnut is a much more Binky name, isn't it?
All right. So Chestnut is a mare, a small but strong gypsy cob, and has been pulling the caravan quite successfully and well. But Chestnut does have a mind of her own. Who generally will be driving the caravan? Who is attempting to have Chestnut go where they want them to go?
Well, seeing as he's got no cooking skills whatsoever, he's pretty much hopeless other than for carrying things. If nobody minds, I would say probably Binky's trying to drive it.
Okay, so Binky,
whatever you do with carriages.
all right, we will keep that in mind. So you can gather up everything, and let's go ahead, since we need to take the caravan out to a little bit farther out of town to where the postmaster, the small house that he and his wife live in. We're going to have you drive that out there. And all of you arrive fairly quickly at the postmaster's house. The wife, you are welcomed in. It is small, sparse, but very clean. And a few frills here and there. You can tell there's definitely a woman's touch within the home. A small plate of sandwiches, a pot of tea, and all the proper accoutrements thereof are all laid out, and you are welcomed in to the parlor. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I can't say how much I admire what you're doing. I've heard stories, my things, the word that has come from my friends in London and some of the surrounding cities. I fear terrible things. But please sit. I'd love to hear some of your tales of how you chose this life.
Lady Carolyn sits down first. She's just used to setting the action for everyone. So that's just what she does.
Oh, please. Yes, they were made fresh this morning. I hope they're okay. I know it's probably not what you may be used to in the larger cities, but we do our best out here. The vegetables were fresh. I just bought them from the market just this morning.
Well, it all looks absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for inviting us along. We're all very honoured, aren't we, Caro?
Absolutely, Binky. And don't worry about the quality of the food. It looks absolutely delightful, and I've had far worse in prison. Devilish smile.
Really?
You never know what's in your sandwiches in some parts of Manchester, so anything is an improvement as far as I'm concerned. It's nice to be out in the country, I have to say. The fruit and the veg, everything's so fresh. Yeah. Thank you so much. It means a lot to be invited into your home like this, so thank you.
Well,
I agree. Don't put yourself down like that. This is such a lovely place with a strong rural community and all the healthy produce. The cities have become just so hostile to life with the pollution and the overcrowding and all. This is honestly, don't feel that you're inferior out in the country. You're not. This is wonderful, and you deserve the vote as much as any townie.
Exactly.
Well, I, for one, look very much forward to casting my first vote the moment it becomes legal. I think it has been far too long that, we women take on so much of the care of others and the home and even working in the fields and everything that we do, but our voice is not considered important.
They think
I've
we're good
never-
enough to raise the future leaders. They think we're good enough to make the food that keeps this country running, to make the clothing, to keep the homes, and yet we're not good enough to have a voice in how any of those things are done. It does not
we
make
work in
sense.
industry too. All the factories in Manchester, the laundries that I worked in, full of women. Full of women. We don't just all work in the home, we work outside as well. It's always been that way.
Dr. Sylvia, she leans over in kind of your direction and goes, "Did I hear correctly out there that you're a doctor?"
That is correct, yes.
My goodness, I can't imagine what you must have faced trying to go through schooling. Could you tell me a little about it? What happened?
I will say that though it's, it still is unusual for a woman to go this way, it was a bit easier for us in Australia. The vast continent so empty, the people need doctors in the rural communities and they realized they couldn't supply them if only men were to do the job. And I will say I think there's questions of the human body that a woman is just better equipped to deal with.
That is true. How men think that they would understand the female form in all its intricate workings is just beyond me. And
Notice Binky starting to blush furiously at this point.
as of course the postmaster's wife turns her attention towards you, Lord Binky, and forgive me. I please don't take this the wrong way, but I am curious. A man, in the movement. I mean, men are needed. I assume, in some way or shape, form to help with the movement. But I must admit, I am a bit surprised. You're not their chaperone, are you?
I wouldn't dare to presume to call myself that. Certainly not in Caro's presence, anyway. No. How do you know? Women have good brains. And there are far too many men out there with good brains who don't have the vote too. There's no reason for them not to be able to have their say. And there are some people who just haven't got the sense to listen to them. So they need someone who they think is of their standing and has a sort of like is someone who should be listened to. And well, for the odd occasion when Caro can't get through to them, or Polly or Dr. Brown can't make them see sense. Well, occasionally, I step up and do what I can to help support them.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that I will admit, I've heard some terribly distressing tales on, I don't know if they're true, about things that happen in the cities when the police get involved in some of these situations.
They're
Are they
absolutely dreadful.
Oh,
The
Never trust
brutality
a
can
copper.
be staggering.
You gotta learn to take a punch. That's all I'm saying.
no.
It's not right, but you gotta learn to take it and fight back.
You are all so much braver than I. But I will do what I can here in the village to rally as many as I can to your cause. As you saw, I believe your speech came to great effect. So I'm very pleased, and I believe that moving forward, I'm sure I can help organize the ladies here in town to help support in any way we can. And as she begins to continue, there is a very loud pounding at the door. The postmaster goes to it, and while you can't quite overhear exactly what is being said, there are definitely some male voices banding back and forth with the postmaster. Whoever the voices, multiple men. You're not entirely sure how many, but they definitely seem displeased that you're there. That your group is there. The postmaster steps out, shuts the door. Some raised voices are heard outside, and then the postmaster comes in. He looks a little bit timid, but comes into the room and looks at his wife. My dear, I do believe that we have another engagement we have to prepare for dinner this evening, for supper. Perhaps these lovely folks, I'm sure they have to be on their way soon. They probably have other places to be. His wife almost seems like she's going to speak out, but then you realize she's kind of understanding what what's happening, and turns to look at you with apologetically. I'm so sorry. Not all the villagers I'm sure are on board, but we will do our best here. I promise I will do what I can to help support, but perhaps I know of a lovely field not too far from here that I think would be an ideal camping spot for your group and your caravan should be safely out of the village limits. Right, dear? Yes, that would be good. It was nice to meet you all. Thank you for coming. And he turns and he leaves the room quickly.
Well, thank you for your hospitality. Yes, if you can give us directions, I'll attempt to get Chestnut to take us there.
Oh, the beautiful horse. What a lovely name. Yes. And she gives directions to a spot not too far away, close to the nearby forest. You very quickly get the impression that it is well enough away and the forest may give potentially some cover should those who do not agree with this idea potentially come out of the pub late in the evening and want to stumble around to cause mischief. You are most grateful that someone is at least providing you a safe distance from this. She offers you, pulls out a couple of napkins and wraps up all the rest of the sandwiches and hands it to all of you. Please, enjoy them. I know, again, it's not much, but thank you. Thank you very much for this. And I'm sure in the next town that you go to, I hope you have even more success.
Oh, thank you. It's very good of you. Thank you.
And
That's
she
right,
sees all of you to the door. All right. Where are you headed next?
Well, if we've had tea, we want to get camp set up. It's probably a good idea to head there, particularly as, you know, Chestnut can be a little wayward. And make sure we're bedded in and get things set up for cooking.
Can we see any sign of the troublemakers? Like, do they seem to have left the general area? Like, sort of looking up and down the lane.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, as you come out of the house and you go over and you're checking on Chestnut and you're taking up the lead with the weight on it, that keeps Chestnut in place, making sure everything is there. You happen to look over, Sylvia. You look over and you notice probably about 20, 25-ish feet away, there are a couple of burly looking men, about 3 of them, and they seem to be talking amongst themselves while looking quite often in your direction. They do not seem pleased that you're there.
I knew it. Well, at least they're leaving the poor post mistress well alone and not, let it come to blows in her front garden. But Bancroft, look over there. I think we're heading for trouble. Maybe we leave Chestnut here for the moment to, not tempt them to mess with the caravan. And we can go and sort them out. I say as I bravely step into, the second line.
So you want to go over and talk to them? Is that what I'm getting? Okay. All right. So you walk, step away from the group. Is anybody going with Sylvia?
Oh, absolutely.
Can't
Right
let her
up.
go on her own.
Just eager for some action. It's been a lot quieter on this trip than what I'm used to in London.
As the 3 of you turn and head in and start walking in the direction of the 3 men, 2 more step out from around the corner, which is not too from the direction of the pub, and they have a couple of baskets with them in their arms. They reach the other three very quickly. And as you are starting to close distance, you're coming within about 6.5, 7 feet of them. The men, you see them turn around, talking amongst themselves, and then they turn back to you with some kind of produce in their hand, and they start throwing it at the three of you. You can tell as the first rotten tomato squishes on the ground near you, you've had this happen before, and they start to pelt the three of you with rotten produce.
Oh, I say,
Yelling.
Binky's not standing for that. Where's my cricket bat? It's time for a little bit of cricket practice, I think.
Terrible throwing arms you've got there, lads.
They
Need to
say we're
practice
the
more.
emotional ones.
No, let's see. Oh, goodness. Let's see if any of them hit any of you. I'm just going to do a couple of throw rolls for them. Nope, that's gonna. No. Goodness. Okay. I either need new dice or something. Okay. One of them, let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 1, 2, and 3. Lady Caroline, unfortunately, you one of them finally does get a very palatable hit on you with a rather large rotting tomato, smashing right up into on your chest, and it smooshes. First, you get the impact against your chest with the force, and then it just crosses you. It's that almost ammonia kind of smell of the rotting produce hits your nostrils. This is not unfamiliar at all.
I
but
laugh, like literally just laugh at him because this is nothing. I punch police officers, dear. You really think that little tomato's gonna bother me?
So the three of you close distance, and you hear Lord Binky tapping his cricket bat up against against his hand as he walks forward.
Oh no, I do literally mean batting practice. Is like as soon as they throw things, I'm just going to try and hit it with the cricket bat. You know, and get my batting arm in. Oh no, if I accidentally happen to hit one of them, if I get a bit close, oh dear.
They finish throwing the produce and begin to move forward towards you in a very menacing way. They are looking for trouble, and they see all of you as a great outlet for this. And as the two sides begin to come together to clash, the door flies open from the house, and the postmaster's wife comes barreling out with her husband not too far behind, as she screams and puts herself between the two groups. No, we shall not have any of that here. They were invited to our home. You will not do this. Seamus, take your cohorts and go home. Go home to your wife. You're about to have a child, for God's sake. Go. Get out of here, or I shall be sure that all of those letters from your London person does not make it to your home ever again. Or shall I say, makes it into the hands of your wife. And she just stands there, full presence. The leader, the redheaded kind of leader brute of the group, actually stops and growls and looks, and then his eyes flicker over to the postmaster, and the postmaster just goes. He looks back at the postmaster's wife and grunts a couple of few epitaphs under his breath. Let's go, boys. And he turns around and walks away. The men grunt a little bit and complain they were looking for a fight too, and they all leave this walk back, more than likely to go drink their frustration under the table.
Bravo, madam. Well played.
Well, there are a few advantages to being knowing not just everyone in the village, but having a little bit of control over what they see. I do hate pulling that card out in this game, but as you ladies and gentlemen have said, things must be done.
And you said earlier you didn't have the courage to stand up and be counted. Well, I think you just did, love.
Look at you. Great job.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Well, I thank you all for your vote of confidence. I shall carry it with me as we move forward. But for now, may I suggest that camping spot would probably be a very good. It takes a
yes,
little
yes, yes.
bit, and just for safety's sake, please. I don't want to worry.
Yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you again for your hospitality. Ladies, so we don't want to see anybody's windows getting put out, do we? Should we go? Karen?
Yes, of
let
course.
let me suggest, the main road goes through the center of town, and I would rather not have you faced with any other confrontation. I'm going less direct route, the easterly road, through Dameron Ravine. That will take you out of town without having to possibly meet up with others that may want to do the same.
The scenic route. Sounds lovely.
It is. Good luck to you all. I truly hope to hear that success is on the way very soon.
With people like you on our side, I think it will be.
And she smiles and heads back into the house, followed quickly by her husband.
Well,
Look down at my ruined shirt and laugh. Good thing we've got the trunk.
Give us here. I'll see what I can do. I'm sure I can get that tomato out of it.
So all of you know that the direction that she was pointing is still relatively on the way that you were planning on going anyway. It's not too far off of, past where the main road is. And you know that if you reach and can cut through Dameron Forest, you will you meet the main turnpike road to Kidderminster. They say, I hope I'm saying that right, in the next county, and there's another market. So if you head down the eastern road, as she suggested, it's going to take you to another town eventually, and it would be a good place to stop. Most of the day is done, and you can tell it is heading towards dusk. So the quicker you make camp, probably the better. So I'm going to guess that everyone is moving. We're gonna get Chestnut, convince Chestnut it's time to go. And if okay, so you guys head down the road. As you pass away from the village. You're passing through some of the farmlands. There are still those still left working in the fields that are finishing up for the day. A farmer in a wheat field, when you stop just to make sure you're headed in the right direction, is very happy to give you directions. I guess his wife overheard what was going on in the market today, and he quietly gives his support to you Although you think if you met him in town, he probably wouldn't say that, but no one's around to hear. So there's a shepherd driving flocks of sheep down the road. You come across a woman, a middle-aged woman who's carrying some baskets with some, looks like probably some root produce, maybe some potatoes or something in it, as she's heading back into town. The steep hills look as if they have been cut with a knife. You travel for about an hour further away from there into a gap in the hills. There's a stream that has cut a steep gully through the hills here, and a well-used track road runs through it. At the entrance of the gap, you pass a small, very neat cottage with a little vegetable garden outside. There's a woman working in there, and then she hears your horse and caravan coming past by. She immediately stops what she's doing and scans the horizon, and then comes over to all of you. Oh, goodness. Have you just come from the village by any chance?
Oh,
Yes, of course.
yes.
Have you seen a boy? He's about yay high, hair like mine, eyes very similar. He's my son, you see, and he's been missing since yesterday. I was just gathering a few things for him to eat if he would come home for dinner, but I'm so worried. He's never been gone this long. You didn't happen to see him there, maybe in the market? Maybe, I don't know. Oh, goodness, I hope he's not hanging around the pub again. By any chance?
Does her description ring any bells with us, Keeper?
It does not.
Are we talking about an actual child, a teenager, somebody who's like old enough to hang around at the pub, or not at all?
Well, he's 14. He's very impressionable. He wants to be his own man, as he keeps telling me. And he's generally a good boy. He just tends to be very trusting and sometimes likes to hang around the wrong crowd. He's been missing since yesterday. At least I haven't seen him. I sent him to the market to get a few things, and he hasn't returned. I was hoping somebody would have seen him.
If it's any comfort to you, I think he was not hanging out with the wrong crowd because we met them.
Oh, oh. And you can tell on her face recognition. Was the gentleman tall, rather brawny, red hair?
That's the chap, yes.
Mm.
I'm terribly sorry. He is. Shame he's such a bully. I don't know
Got a
why.
really rubbish throwing arm, too.
I don't know why my Joe looks up to him. Oh, thought I would taught him better than this. He's just a boy.
And are there any friends he might have gone to visit, or family in the area?
Oh, unfortunately not. It's just the two of us. Oh, well, thank you.
I'm going to. I'm sorry, we couldn't help. I'm going to pull gently Lady Caroline to one side. We really should help you. I mean, this poor lady, obviously, she's very distressed, and young chap. And she said, I don't really want him getting in with the wrong crowd. What do you say about heading back and seeing if we can find him, or at least getting the word out that the boy's missing?
Yes, of course. We can't leave her on her own like this.
What if, how far do we think that we are from the suggested campsite? We could maybe, take the caravan there, then unhitch Chestnut and be back to town quicker.
You're fairly close to it. The house is not far at all from this the space that you were directed to. You're easily over an hour from the village, and you know that by the time you set camp and everything, it will be quite dark.
I agree,
would-
though, that she does need some assistance here. The poor woman out here, so far removed from the rest of town, and nobody to take a message to town that her son's missing. Even, yeah, that would be a shame.
Well, I tell you what. Let's get to the site. I mean, then I could leave you all to set up, and then I can ride Chestnut back. Maybe go over the fields, and get word to the postmistress, and then I can come back and help you finish setting up.
Well, we got
everything.
bicycles as well, don't we?
That's true. You do have bicycles.
That's wonderful.
Well, that takes for 3 of us. Yes, I suppose we could get 2 on a bicycle or 2 on Chestnut. It's we should be able to do that.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a nice night. I'm sure we could bivouac under the stars or something totally wholesome and jolly like that once we're done.
Sounds like an adventure.
So I apologize. I'm sorry. If you find my son's name is Joe. Oh goodness, I haven't even introduced myself. How terrible. My name is Lizzie. Ardley. My son Joe. And I. It's just the 2 of us. I don't know if he's been off into town or if he went playing along the ravine and scampering off to Dameron House again. He loves to go look at the big house, or if he's playing in the forest and got lost. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for him. We'll have a
Yeah.
look. We'll let the village know that he's missing so that if they know where he is or if they come across him, they'll be able to pack him up and send him home. So we'll do what we can, Lizzie. Don't worry about it.
We will. And we were heading into the forest anyway, so if he's been that way, maybe we'll see him. And then we'll
Oh.
come back out again.
If you do come across him, please tell him to come home, or yes, tell him to come home, or I can, I don't know, bring him. We live here. It's not far. Where are you camping at? You said you're going to the forest. Not far.
Sort of give her the rough description of where we were directed to.
Oh no, not far at all. So you're right near the ravine. So please keep an eye out. I'd be most grateful.
Of course. We'll bring him home if we find him.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Very appreciative. I've got to get these vegetables in. Oh, could, here. And she turns around very quickly and goes back to the front of the house where you see there is a there's a line stretched out, and you can see a few rabbits that are hanging out in front, and she takes one down and she brings it over to you and hands it and holds it out. Here, for your dinner tonight. And then she hands you a few vegetables out of her basket, a couple of carrots, and a few greens. Here, it's the least I can do. Thank you for keeping an eye out. I need to go prepare this. I hope you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
too
you very
kind,
much.
Lizzie.
It's very kind of you.
Thank you very much.
And
Binky, don't go near
turns-
that rabbit.
She turns and goes into the house. The rabbit's is definitely deceased, and has been prepared, to be, it's just been hanging ready, draining and almost ready to be skinned and cooked. So we'll leave that description there.
Oh, shall we go set up camp and then see what we can do about this missing boy?
I think that's the best idea, yes.
Yes, let's make a start before the sun goes down.
So you head a little ways further and into the right before the forest really kicks in. So there are a few trees with a little bit of shade, but not too many. The sky is darkening as dusk is beginning to settle. The colors in the sky are beautiful. The evening seems like it's going to be a very calm and cloudless evening. You're pretty sure you will see a million stars in the moon, and should be quite lovely. The stream that runs through the ravine on the right side, you can see how the ravine with a really good torrential rain will probably flood some of the roads, because it's not a main road. It's a little bit more than a path. I mean, it's just enough for those that need to pass through this way, but this is definitely not a main thoroughfare. The road itself, you can tell, generally probably herds of sheep, cattle, horses come through, are brought through here versus the main road. You can see the prints and how the ground is kind of churned up by all of the animals that are probably brought through. The dark stone walls of the ravine would generally cast a large shadow, blocking out some of the sunlight in this area. So the temperature as you get in that area kind of cools down a bit. Your shawls come out, potentially a blanket or two to keep warm, until at least you can sit around the fire. And as some of the sun cuts through the trees, you see the glint of a small rocky pool nearby. It looks like the perfect place that either in the morning, maybe refresh oneself in the next day. You see the animal tracks near the edges, and you do not see any indication of bones or bodies or anything else floating in it. So you detect no stench or scent of rot or death. So you're pretty sure the water is probably very safe to drink, maybe from an underground spring or other freshwater source. This seems like the proper place to camp. You have a little bit of cover. You still have some sun. It's off of even the small road, but not too far off of it. And there's a fresh water source. The horse, poor Chestnut, is showing. Chestnut's done. Chestnut is tired. Chestnut sees the water and is pulling at your ministrations, Lord Binky. Chestnut wants a drink and a rest, and probably a carrot or two or some type of treat for all of the hard work she's put in today.
Oh, that can certainly be arranged. I'll get her out of the harness and take her over there so she can have a drink.
You can tell from your care of this horse that this is exactly what she's looking for.
I think we can all relate to Chestnut, can't we?
Mm-hmm.
We all want a drink and a carrot and a nice sit down.
So what is everyone doing?
I'll take the opportunity of Binky's back being turned to change my shirt. And then have a rustle through like our provisions and things. Like we don't need to worry about our dinner now because Lizzie was kind enough to give us some food, but just doing my daily sort of calculations of what we have and what we'll need to pick up the next place we go to, and because we didn't have a chance to really pick anything up from the market at this village, things like that.
Polly is going around with a basket. She takes the stained shirt from Lady Carolyn and just goes around asking, anyone got any mending need doing? Any hems need taking up? Anything like that? Binky, you want fresh collars in the morning?
Oh, oh no, I think I'll get another day out of this one. It should be fine. But thank
Right
you.
you are. Right you are.
All right. So everyone goes about their general camp setup duties. This is almost muscle memory at this point. A fire is built. Some of the bedrolls are brought out. Some food and cooking supplies are gathered from the storage in the caravan, and generally fairly quickly, as the sun completely dips below the horizon and darkness descends, and the blanket of stars above just unfurls itself in all of its beauty. The warm, comforting campfire is going. The smell of food is cooked, and bellies will soon be filled. The day is done, and the weariness can now just start to seep into the ground and out of the bodies. A good night's rest and an early morning, as the sun comes up, a good strong cup of coffee will be your reward the next day.
If we get up and make an early start, we should be able to get a good few hours in looking for the boy.
Keeper, is there any sort of sign that the boy might have been through here, particularly around the pool? Any maybe footprints, anything like that?
Oh, well, if you'd like to go over and look, I'm going to have you make me some spot hidden roll, please.
Okay. Polly has 60 spot hidden, which is rather good. And I've just rolled a 3. So that is an extreme success.
Brilliant. Oh, okay. So you take your time as you go to gather water at the small pool off at the stream. And as you just take a keen eye as you wander through, you do notice that there is a bit of the mud along one side that a lot of the dirt and the mud, the grass and the growth seems to definitely be kind of kicked up and dug up, as if something occurred. And then you notice two marks, two kind of dug marks, kind of pulling away from that area until the ground fully hardens farther. But the direction that these two line, these grooves in the dirt, the mud and in the dirt go, it looks like if you were to follow its trajectory, even though it stops after a point, seems to indicate that it's headed in the direction of the road.
And are they sort of parallel, these marks?
Yes, they are.
Right. Polly will call over the others and go, Oi, everyone, come and have a look at this. I think I found something.
Oh, this is peculiar. Does it look as if somebody had been dragged there? Are they sort of the right distance apart to have been somebody's heels dragging in the dirt or something?
That's
As a
exactly what I was thinking.
Yes, as a doctor, you kind of look at the distance between them and what the grooves are, and you believe that that's possible. In fact, if everybody else who is there can now make me a spot hidden roll.
Okay.
Oh, that's an
that would
8
be
from me. That's excellent.
22 under 45, hard success.
That would be
Yes.
no.
Aw.
It's obviously
Poor
still
Binky.
TBE taking care of Chestnut.
Well, someone has to do it, Binky. Someone has to. So the two, Sylvia and Caroline, as you expand the search, now that you see these grooves and you expand the search kind of outward a little bit. Okay, what did Caroline and Sylvia, what were your roles specifically?
Hard success.
Hard?
Hard. Yeah.
Hard, okay. Both of you notice it about the same time. You kind of follow the grooves that you're pretty sure are drag marks in the direction that they seem to go. And even as the grooves stop, one of you happens to look over and then the other one does. And you see kind of sticking out of a small shrub. You believe you see a shoe.
Oh,
It is muddy. One of the laces on the shoe is actually broken. It's scuffed up. And there's a clump of dried mud on the heel of it. And it's definitely not a small, delicate shoe. This is a shoe of a working person. It's definitely someone who doesn't have a whole lot of money to buy. It's not like a nice shoe. It's definitely a working person. Very, very similar to a lot of the shoes that you would see in rural areas.
and it's not too big to belong to a 14-year-old. I mean, I presume they might have come into all their growth spurts yet.
It's not, you wouldn't say it would be like a full-size men's shoe, but it's a little bit larger than what you would expect for most women to fit into. Binky has slightly delicate feet, and might be a good measurement. So as you look at this, Lady Caroline would look at this and kind of go, oh, that might kind of fit my brother's foot years ago when we were a bit younger.
Oh dear, this might well be our Joe then.
It's not good. Not good.
I say if you found something.
All right.
I lift up the shoe for everybody to see.
Oh,
Look, there's mud still stuck to it, as if, it's been dragged through the mud.
Hmm.
well, I
you
don't
think
suppose
he
you
was
found
un-
anything else, have you?
Yeah.
We haven't found a
marks.
body yet, if that's what you're asking, Binky.
I mean, there's still hope then, isn't there?
And
Good way of looking
the
at it.
bush that the shoe was stuck in, does it look like, the body had been dragged through? Is that possible at all? Or dragged into the shrub?
You're not sure. You don't know if it was if it could have been kicked off. I mean, it's very the placement of it, of the how you find it kind of sitting in, kind of stuck in this shrub, indicates that either it was tossed in there, kicked into there. It was just there. It wasn't like carefully placed.
Well, either he was fighting whoever took him away and kicked it off, or maybe he kicked it off himself in the hopes that someone would come looking and know that he'd been this way.
But the drag marks don't continue, so maybe he was lifted up fully then.
Yeah. You think he was unconscious? Can you tell that from track marks? I mean, I'm no doctor.
And I guess they're steady and parallel, so he wasn't kicking while he was being dragged.
Hmm.
Actually, There was only the drag marks, right? If somebody were dragging him, we'd see their footprints. This is wrong. I look more closely and try to make a sense of this any way I can. It's like, hang on a second. Ah!
There are, as you continue to look, you do see a few other prints. I mean, it's a bit dark. You think you might be able to see better in the daylight. But from what you can see, yes, there are a few other shoe prints. But the drag marks, especially through the mud, are fairly deep, and it looks kind of scuffle. The best guess that you have, having been through, you yourself have been in a protest situation where you've been basically grabbed and dragged away into a police, paddy wagon, and other things. So you're pretty sure that, yes, whoever this was fighting back as they were being dragged by whoever had them, and somehow the shoe came loose and was either tossed or kicked or discarded in a very haphazardly way. But the person who was dragged was not alone. It's just it's a little hard to tell more now that it's gotten very dark. The light from the moon and the stars above do at least provide a little bit of, between the light and the shadow, at least gives you the drag marks, because the grooves are deep enough to tell.
Gosh. The boys really got in trouble.
Oh, I hope the lad's
Should
all
we-
right.
Should we try following whatever tracks we can find? I know it's dark, but if it rains or anything, we might lose what we have here
Point.
overnight.
Good
Where is
point.
that? In the direction that they're being dragged, does it look like they would have kept on going over the road into whatever's beyond it, or is that where the stream is?
You think, yeah, I can talk today. The drag marks, everything seems to stop at the road. Any sign of any tracks beyond that seem to stop at the road.
That's unfortunate.
But something interesting does come your way with those hard successes. And since you are really looking for the details, one of the things you notice on the road, though you weren't paying attention before, but now you see it. There seem to be, under where probably some of the sheep and the animals have been moved through, underneath that, as the light of the moon comes down, you believe you see the grooves from car tires along the road. Just light underneath.
It's very strange for this area and this time. Someone having an automobile.
Who would own a car around here?
Oh, well, Mrs. Ardley said something about a big house.
Oh, you're right.
And that Joe liked to go and look at the big house. I mean, someone's got to own all this land. I mean, it's just the way these things are. And I mean, really, we're being honest about it. They're likely to be the only person who could afford a motor vehicle.
You're right there.
So I think we might have to pay them a visit tomorrow morning.
Oh, well, why wait? I mean, if this lad's been dragged away.
Small problem. Don't actually know where it is.
Oh, yeah, I knew there was something.
Oh, no, I mean, I'll
we
dig
could
out
just
the
follow
map
the
and
road
see,
and see if we see, lights from the windows. I guess it's still early in the evening.
Well, I have my ordnance survey map. If there's a stately home on there, it should be marked. So I'm going to go back to the caravan and get my map and see if I can work out where we are for a start, and if there is anything palatial marked on this thing.
Okay.
Or I mean, it not being midnight yet. I guess it's a short enough walk back to Lizzie's cottage, and we at least let her know that that's a clue we have. I'm sure she'll sleep more easily if she thought that he'd be at the big house, even if he got in trouble.
Would it worry her more or worry her less if we were to go back and tell her now?
Yes, I'm not sure how, hello, Mrs. Ardley, we found a shoe is really going to help.
Binky, you go back and get your map and you stretch it out near the fire so you get the full as much light as possible. And you start to triangulate approximately where you are. It takes a few minutes, but you are able, as you've been kind of keeping track of the general tour and kind of marking off places that you've been, you're able to find the village. And as a matter of fact, looks like right on the other side of the forest. The forest is not actually that big. You see on the other side, there is a little indication and it says Dameron House on it.
Well, I think I found it, ladies. Not that far away. I'm
Well,
sure
that's
we could,
convenient.
well, yes, I mean, I'm sure we could pop over there this evening and, make our apologies for disturbing the household, but it's certainly worth seeing if they've seen anything of the boy.
So at this point, I know we don't have etiquette in this one. This isn't Regency. Unfortunately, which this would be an etiquette. So instead, I am going to ask for no rolls from the group.
Oh, could I argue for credit rating if this is an etiquette thing for posh people?
You know what? I will give you that.
Thank
Because
you.
Lord and
Good.
Lady Caroline would definitely have this knowledge in mind. So both of you, I would give a bonus die to. How about that?
Oh, right. Okay, good.
Okay.
Because the original roll's awful.
I
Yep.
failed 50 against 40
Okay.
for no.
I'm just clueless. I rolled an 88.
Thankfully, with the addition of the bonus die, Binky remembers, with a roll of 48 out of 60, how to be a gentleman.
And that knowledge is going to come in handy right now. So Edwardian etiquette, you know that while there's still a fairly strict, I mean, it's not maybe as strict as the Regency period in terms of the classes, making sure you have proper introductions from mutuals and everything else. It is a little bit less restricting, but not a tremendous amount. You know that especially if you're going to a named house, something, if a house is big enough to have its own name, it basically is an estate. And based on that, there are still protocols of etiquette in place, pure manners, if nothing else. And arriving, especially considering your current profession and cause, arriving unannounced, without introduction, at a home like this, at an estate, especially this late at night, without any invitation or event going on, would be a large breach of etiquette. You could still choose to do it, but you're pretty sure that whoever probably resides there is not going to take to your pleas very well, or take take in your presence without some difficulty. But the choice is still yours.
All this caravanning, I'm always going quite feral, Arrow. Yes. Yes, perhaps we best sleep on it. I mean, obviously, I will bow to the group's consensus, but yes, if we do want the landowner's help in finding young Joe, possibly best not to turn up for a nightcap unannounced.
Although, on the other hand, we could try and sneak around the back a bit and, just give it a bit of a look. And then if we see anything in the morning, you can go in and ask them what's what. You know, there's got to be stables and outbuildings and probably places out round the back where they might be keeping somebody.
Sounds like an excellent compromise, Miss Wentworth.
Always
Well,
in for a
thank you
bit of
very
subterfuge.
much, your lordship.
And it probably isn't his lordship himself who was dragging boys out of the woods, right? This has got to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, one would hope
Yeah. This I
not.
love this actually.
I mean, best case scenario, the boy was poaching or something, and he was caught by a gamekeeper, and they're going to give him a clip round the ear hole, and then you can maybe give your full rank and see if you can persuade him to let the lad go home.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Yes. Little bit of reconnaissance. And then go in tomorrow with the full charm offensive, basically.
Wonderful. That's a great plan.
Well,
Are you happy with that,
I-
Caro?
I mean, sounds like a wonderful idea to me. Get some action in, get some work done tonight, and then do all the social finagling tomorrow.
all right. Well, the night is clear. The moon is out. What light there is, stars are bright, very, very bright. Summer must be just that perfect time of the year. In fact, it is the night after the summer solstice. While the moon doesn't have a tremendous amount of light, as it is just this little sliver, it does seem to be brighter than you remember. The forest comes alive, not in a literal sense, but the animals and the creatures of the night that live there are now in full activity. You hear scurrying, you hear the sounds of insects and animals doing their thing as they would every evening. The nocturnal creatures coming to life. The hoot of owls, you hear the chirp of crickets, and the rustling of probably things like foxes and badgers and everything. These are not unfamiliar. As in your travels, you have come across some of this. For some of you, it may be comforting. For some of you, you just put up with it as part of the journey. So tell me, my adventurers, what are you doing? Because it does seem you are becoming very adventurous.
I presume we've got storm lanterns or something like that.
Thought that would be sensible for what we're doing. So from the map, I take it that the quickest way is through the forest rather than trying to go via the road.
As you look around you look at the map, yes, that does seem to be the easiest route. And you take a few minutes and with the help of the lanterns, and you do happen to find what looks like probably a small deer path, kind of that is leading into the forest. It's fairly small, but you can make it out.
Good. Yes, well, I think this way, ladies. Be the quickest way to get there. Obviously, mind your step. Well, hopefully this won't get too impenetrable.
Is everybody going with Binky?
Oh, yeah.
As it
Can't
looks
let
like
Binky go off by himself.
By all means.
I might get in
Probably
trouble.
not a good idea to let
No,
Binky go
bless
off by
him.
himself. No.
All right. Okay, so each of you tell me the order that people are walking, because this is definitely barely a one-person single file type of path.
Is everyone happy for Binky to be at the front with the lantern?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me. And then
Yes.
Caroline will be right behind him.
Polly's not that comfortable around trees. She feels them a bit weird. She's really not used to being out in nature so much. So I think she'd like to be not at the back of the group. I think
That's not a problem at all. I'll bring up the rear.
Yeah, she's sort of hurrying a little bit to keep in the circle of light thrown by Binky's lantern, I think. So yeah, she'd go after Carolina.
I feel like growing up would have involved some bushwalking.
Which bit of
Okay.
Australia is she from?
Rural New South Wales.
Oh, yeah, she's going to know how to bushwhack then, yes.
All right. As you enter the forest, you have your lanterns. They give a little bit of light. As the edges of that light hit the flora around you, you hear the various scurrying going. Binky, you notice at one point looks like a small family of foxes, about one large one and about 2 or 3 small ones, cross the path just out of the lantern range, but you can kind of see as they turn to you and the light glints off of the reflectiveness behind their eyes, and they quickly scurry across the path back into the darkness of the forest. The crickets, as you pass by, quiet a bit, and then you hear Sylvia as you move forward, as you are in the back. They seem to start back up again behind you. And you carefully make your way through the path. Even with the light, there are still branches, roots that you kind of have to pick through. There's a fallen tree at one point that you will have to kind of climb over. And I will not make you make climbing rolls, but it does kind of tug at the clothes a bit. Polly, I think yours actually gets caught on a bit of a knot, and you have to work a little bit of time to extricate yourself from that. Unfortunately, they just don't have, it's just not the ease of movement that maybe a pair of jeans or yoga pants in this day and age would help with. So it takes a little bit to kind of move through with the clothing and the shoes that are the de rigueur of the day. But as you move through the forest, you are pretty sure that it can't possibly take more than maybe 20, maybe 25 minutes to kind of move through. But you still can't seem to see the other side of the forest. You think that as small as it looks on, as far as you could tell, as Binky was saying on the map, you should be almost through it by now. You should start to see the tree line. And yet it just seems to get darker and deeper as you go in.
Oh, heavens, I do hope we haven't been walking around in circles. Well, I hate to ask this, ladies, but I don't suppose anyone could spare a bit of petticoat and to sort of tie on a branch so that we know we're actually not going around in circles.
No
He
has no points to navigate.
Yes,
Binky actually does.
Binky.
Actually, yes.
Yes, Binky, would you please roll me a navigate roll? And if anybody would like to attempt to help Binky, you are more than welcome to do so to provide a bonus dive to Binky's roll.
Oh, I've got points to navigate too.
No, brother, sister, you guys probably did many hours in the local forest playing hide and seek and learning your
And
way
writing
around.
as well.
Ah, that's true. Yes.
Certain other
Polly
sporting
doesn't
activities
have
which
any.
will not get mentioned because we don't approve of them.
Molly doesn't have any navigate, but she will snip a little bit off her petticoat for Binky to tie onto a tree.
Right. Okay. So
Do we
that was
have?
actually
Would it be completely unreasonable for me to have some like medical gauze or something so that we can spare that good petticoat? These, these are expensive.
That's true, true. Although she's a
Yes.
dab hand with a needle, I'm sure she can fix it back up again at the end. But
so you got
yes.
38 out of 50 on the navigate roll.
Okay.
Nice.
Caroline?
I got a 5 under 40 for navigate.
Oh, very nice.
So
Okay.
this is why she doesn't need me.
I always need
Oh,
you,
more accomplished
Binky.
than me.
Your moral support, Binky.
So, Binky, you're pretty sure that, yes, the path that it should be going forward. It should be going the correct way. You're very sure you're not going around in circles. And Caroline, you two discuss this and take a minute and you examine the sides of the trees and which side the lichen is on, and kind of maybe backtrack a little bit and just to make sure that you're on the yes, no, everything seems to be as it should. Yet all of you make me a listen roll.
Mm.
That's a no.
That would be a hard success. 18 out of 50.
Polly only has base, and that's a fail of 76 against base 20.
67 over 50 for me.
It's hard for me. 17 under 40.
Polly, you are so out of your element at this point. You don't know which way is that. You're just following the crowd because that's about the best you can do right now.
Absolutely.
For those that passed, especially you, Binky, because you passed and you are in the front. As you and Caroline finish talking and determining that, yes, you're on the right path. You should be towards the end of this area. You should be seeing that tree line. There should be something. You stop to think for a minute, and that's when it hits you. All of those sounds, the scurrying under the bushes, the sound of the insect, the crickets and the insects, all of the sounds of life that were so prominent and so familiar as you entered into the forest and through most of it, it hits you how quiet it is. Very quiet. There is the chirping from the crickets is gone.
Ow.
The scurrying under the bushes is stilled. It is perfectly quiet. And that is when I would like all of you to make me power rolls.
Oh, snap.
Woohoo! Oh, snap.
Hard for me. I'm okay.
That was a fail. 81 against 60.
94 over 50.
Oh,
And that was a hard success for me. 17 out of 50.
Go,
Oh, Binky. Mental
I've
fortitude
got a
there.
17 too.
for the two of you that failed, the darkness seems to expand. The detail, what little detail you can see from the lantern seems to blur. The light seems to dim. And the darkness seems to engulf you. And you do not see or hear anything. The two of you that succeeded, you are snapped by a massive crack of thunder. As if someone had Thor himself had crashed right there in front and all around you. The sound reverberates. It is so strong. It vibrates within you. You start to hear a wind whip through the tops of the trees and start to feel the sway of them and the whoosh as the wind gets stronger and stronger.
Righto. Ladies, we need to get out of here. The last place you really want to be in a storm is in the middle of a forest. Trust me on that. So go on.
Binky, you turn around and you've noticed that two of your companions are on the ground, completely unconscious.
Goodness.
Timmy admitted they're but let's try and get their feet up.
Binky's searching for his hip flask, and is going to obviously go straight to Caro, and sort of like wave it under her nose. It's not smelling salts, but he's kind of hoping that the smell of good brandy is going to have a similar effect.
Yeah, I'll care for Polly.
As you do this, the storm begins to just descend suddenly, harsh, cruel, and descends upon the forest. But there's no rain. You feel no moisture. In fact, it feels dry. But the wind and the crack of lightning, the flashes of lightning and the cracks of thunder fill your senses as you look over your unconscious companions. The two of you that are unconscious, the darkness is permeated by the stars. But the stars are no longer stars, they are eyes. They are cold and cruel, and they stare down into you. You see around you, as you look around in your mind's eye, the forest, deep and dark. But now you see burning torches through the dark silhouettes of the tree trunks. Figures in dark robes pass along your peripheral vision, and you hear their chanting and their pacing. You are unable to move, call out. You can barely breathe as your body grips, frozen in terror. And then you see what looks to be a large bulbous tree move. It lurches towards the light. It is enormous. It is dark, thick, glutinous looking even, the word that comes to your mind. But it's not a tree. No tree looks like that. No tree moves like that. No tree moves. Not with the hooves on its feet that tap along the ground in an infernal rhythm. It is a horrific thing, black as night, with octopus tentacles that quest the air with a horrible jelly-like delicacy. And those tentacles reach out towards you. Miranda, could you please put that handout I gave you this morning on for everyone to see? I would appreciate it. Would the two of you please roll me sanity?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's appropriate.
Oh, Eep.
Very.
But I passed that with an 18 under 50.
Okay.
That is a 54 against 60, a narrow pass.
Oh, okay. So both of you will just lose 1 point. I'm just going to do that. As your mind takes in this vision, you hear someone or maybe something scream loudly through the forest. That scream almost seems to take on a life of its own, as you could almost see it move and work its way through the trees as it hits you and moves through you. That scream is not human. And you will wake when we come back from our break. So thank you for everyone being with us for the first part of A Midsummer Night's Darkness. And we're going to take a 5-minute break so that our lovely investigators can take in what is been presented and what is to come. Stay with us and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Miskatonic Playhouse. Again, I am ValyGirl Heather. I am the keeper tonight. Our tonight's scenario is A Midsummer Night's Darkness. And our lovely suffragettes and their wonderful ally companion, Binky, because why not? I have found themselves in the forest, 2 of which are just waking up from a rather horrific vision as a scream rips through, a very human, high female scream rips through, and you hear the sound of running and stumbling coming right at you, Binky.
Binky's completely torn as to whether to sort of like drop Carolyn's head as he's sort of like waving the bottle on the hip flask under her nose, and to sort of like stand up and turn around. So it's just kind of like having indecision until something happens, basically.
What you see as you turn around to kind of hold the lantern up is you see a woman, an older woman. Her hair is askew with a few sticks and leaves in it. You see splatters of red across her clothing on the front. She seems to be carrying something in her hand, and her eyes are wild as she is running directly to you.
Oh gosh, I say, madam, is everything all right?
Binky, you recognize her. In fact,
Is
you
it Mrs.
just met
Mrs.
her
Ardley?
earlier.
Yeah. Mrs. Ardley.
My beautiful boy, his body has few eyes. They took him in that thing. Oh, that thing. Ah! And she becomes hysterical and kind of falls into you.
Well, I'll do the classic British stiff upper lip, sort of completely no idea what to do with someone expressing emotion thing, and to sort of like pat her gently on the back, making their noises, whilst attempting to sort of like get brandy into her from the hip flask.
The 2 of you that are waking up, the image, the vision that you saw has chilled you to your core. You still feel the deep reaching tendrils of terror, not really fully letting go, but enough that you are able to move and you can feel yourself breathe as the cold air from the evening hits your lungs again, almost for the first time. What is everyone doing? There was now a screaming woman.
Right, I think Binky's dealing with her quite, I think confirming to the best medical knowledge of our day. But yeah, I'll assist as best I can with calming her down, and I guess I'm sort of glad we don't have to break it to her that we are afraid that something bad happened to Jay. Oh, she found out on her own. That's amazing.
Sylvia, you look over at the poor woman and you notice what's in her hand. As a medical professional, you are able to recognize this almost instantaneously. It is a hand. It is dry. It is desiccated. It looks like it has been broken or ripped off at the wrist, but it is very, very clearly a withered hand, and she is clutching it. Her thumb is almost crushed through it as she holds it.
Right. I mean, this. I'm sort of wondering if this is sort of medically enough for me to not, need to keep it together here. But I mean, didn't he just go missing yesterday? How can this be desiccated? Maybe this is something that drives me to madness.
I'd like you to roll me intelligence, and I'm going to give you a bonus die because you are a medical professional. So body parts is something that you're used to seeing.
Oh, that bonus die. That was a gorgeous 8.
Wonderful. Could you then please roll me sanity?
Mm-hmm. And I just scrape by with a 53 and a 60.
Wonderful. So you just lose 1 point. It's enough to definitely throw you, because as you think about it, yeah, he was just missing. This is what this looks like. It almost looks mummified, withered, drained of all light. Like it had been this. There's no way this could be like this in just barely 24 hours.
Now I try and keep this to myself because I think making a fuss over how impossible this is going to obviously just upset her more. But inside my head, gears are turning at record speed.
No, Mrs. Ardley. Yes, and just take a sip of this brandy, and maybe let's have a nice sit down, shall we? And yes, and I just can get you there, and I just need to check on my sister and Miss Wentworth. Dr. Brown, can I leave Mrs. Ardley with you?
Yes, of course. Sit with me, Lizzie. That you really should have another swig of that. That's kind of do you good. Yes.
Binky and Sylvia, can you roll me psychology rolls, please?
Oh, Binky has base psychology. This should be good. No, that's a fail. It's not a completely how should we put this? He hasn't disgraced himself. He just hasn't got a clue.
It's a plain success from me.
Okay. Binky, your ministrations and your attempts to calm the poor hysterical woman, unfortunately, don't seem to land. But the good Dr. Sylvia, she seems to take more to you and what the calm, your calm and demeanor. It's that good bedside manner that you are well known for in those who appreciate your work. So you are able to get her to take a few sips of the brandy and get her to stop wailing and just kind of going to just a fairly steady sob. Caroline and Polly, as you have woken up into this chaos, what are you two doing?
I had a moment of panic when I was waking up because of the vision that I saw and everything, and started hyperventilating a little bit. But then the moment I realized there was a screaming, hysterical other woman or other person, my brain immediately went into, okay, someone else is having trouble, therefore I have to be the rational one here, because that's just how Lady Carolyn is, and immediately calms herself down and sits up, looks around going, well, what's all this then?
Polly is confused. She has no idea for a moment or two when she opens her eyes. She has no idea where she is. She has no idea what's happening around her because all she can see in her mind's eye is this terrible dark thing, this tree with hooves and tentacles, this nightmarish creature. And for a moment, all the shadows in the circle of light cast by Binky's lamp all seem to have tentacles, and she's terrified because it feels like they're reaching out towards her. And she grasps her handkerchief tightly in two hands and is twisting it, just something to do with her hands. What's going on? The trees, where are they? I can't be in here. I can't be here. What's happening? Caroline, Binky, Sylvia.
It's all right, Miss Wentworth. Calm yourself.
Trees. You saw it. Did you see the trees?
I saw them too. You saw them too, Polly.
Oh, thank God, it wasn't just me.
I think that might be worse.
But there's trees all around us. Is it these trees?
No, it was a thing. It was reaching out. And it walked. The trees don't walk.
We had some kind of shared hallucination. Something. Yes, that's it. That's all. It's all right, Polly. We're fine. We're safe. There's no walking trees, no tentacled horrors or anything of that sort. It's quite all right. It's quite all right. It's just Binky.
Well, and is that Mrs. Ardley?
Yes. She's had a bit of a turn.
Oh, did she see them too? Then did she see the trees?
We haven't really got round to discussing that yet. Are you sure you're both all right? I mean, I can get the hip flask back.
Oh yeah.
If you'd like some brandy.
Oh well,
Yes.
It can't hurt, can it?
It can't hurt at all. Please, Binky.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go and get the hip flask back and just generally pass it around everybody.
You are able to extricate the flask from Mrs. Her hand, and you realize it's quite a bit lighter than it was when you passed it to her in the first place, which is probably not surprising. But you think that the rest of the group could probably eke out a sip or two of what's left.
Oh, it feels a bit better. Thank you. Thank you very much.
See, it's all fine now. It's fine. Shared hallucination. When people spend a lot of time together, things happen. Just very intently trying to rationalize everything because Caroline is a very rational person. So she's doing her best to calm everything down and it was just a dream or a vision. That's all it is. We're back in reality. Nothing to worry about. That's where her head's at.
Binky, could you make me we'll just do a spot hidden roll for it.
I mean, unlikely, but he'll try his best.
Yeah, try your best.
Oh, good dice. That was a 44 out of 45.
Nice.
Beautiful, just enough. As you take the flask back, when you first reach out to get the flask from her hand, you accidentally grab the wrong hand. You grab because you see a dark form in one of her hands, and you assume that's the flask, and you go to grab it, and something crunches under your hand. It feels like dried leaves, but maybe sticks or something. And you realize obviously that's not it, and you grab the flask and you hand it off. But then you turn back around and look at what you grabbed in her hand, trying to figure out why she would have a handful of dead flora in carrying around. And that's when you notice it's a very withered, dried, slightly crushed hand in her hand. Could you please roll me sanity?
Yes. Oh dear. No, that's 60 out of 40. So yes, that's not a good result.
Yes. Roll me intelligence. I'm sorry, I should have had you do that first, but we'll see.
Bless him, he's not that smart. Oh, now I've got 53, but you're not. Can you spend luck on? Yes, it's an int roll. I can spend luck. We haven't rolled for our luck scores though, have we?
We haven't. So I think this would be an excellent time for
It
all
would.
of our suffragettes to probably roll your luck, as I have a feeling you may need it.
I may need it. Yes. Oh, actually, that's 12, so that's 60. That's not too bad.
Good. I need to multiply. Got 70. I never have this much luck. It's amazing.
Great.
Right.
That could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Only 45
actually-
for Polly.
55 for me.
Nice.
This is where I suddenly realised I was about to do something immensely stupid. Because at this point, I don't want to make my int roll, do I?
No, actually, you don't. You really don't. But that's okay
I'm
because
saving my luck.
well, there we go. Luck is rolled, and yes. So you're looking at this, and you're like, no, that can't possibly be. That can't be a hand, not in that condition. She must have just grabbed maybe a branch or something that just happens to be, in the shape of a hand, or looks at it in this poor light, even with the lantern, and you decide you don't want to move the lantern over to examine this closer. There's no need. She seems to be not necessarily calm, but at least not in a panicked state. And your two companions are now talking about moving trees with tentacles and things. And that it's okay. If she wants to hold on to leaves and twigs and things like that, that's her business.
Yes, I mean, it's dark. There's a thunderstorm going on. We've all had a nasty fright. It's easy to let our imaginations run away with us.
And that's the thing. As you are there, and then it occurs to you, the wind has stopped. In all of this hubbub, the wind has gone still. And the sounds of the forest slowly the volume seems to come back into your ears. It feels like a normal night. You see the play of light and shadow from the stars and the lanterns. The darkness does not seem any deeper than it normally should. And all seems right in the forest.
Strange.
Well, I mean, perhaps we ought to get Mrs. Hardley home.
Yes, we really should. Come on now, Lizzie.
She follows you without any. You just let her probably lead her there, and she goes without any resistance. So you are heading back the way you came then?
Actually, I mean,
Or are you headed forward?
I'm thinking it's probably really bad practice to be wanting to take her home. Shouldn't we take her to the caravan and she can spend the night with us? She really should not be alone. Not after finding that. And I'm sort of stupidly calling everybody's attention to the thing about he's clutching, in case they hadn't seen it.
Well, it's just a gnarly bit of a tree. You know how these things can sometimes look like body parts. Yeah, but that's a very good suggestion, though. Yes, you're quite right. She shouldn't really be on her own this evening.
Caroline and Polly, would you please make intelligence checks now that the good doctor has pointed out there seems to be some disagreement between Binky and Doc.
I have an int of 80, guys.
So do I. Edgy
Oh,
40
dear.
and int 80.
64. I passed.
70. I passed as well.
Sanity checks,
Thanks,
please.
Yeti.
You know,
Thanks,
there's a
Yeti.
Please,
thing must be
humans.
too clever for
Well,
your own good.
it's important
Mr.
we know that our search efforts aren't urgent. Don't you see? This is. I mean,
43 under 49.
Okay.
45 against 59.
All right. For passing, you lose 1 point of san.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
All
good
right.
point. Did I lose any sanity from my little?
No, your mind has decided it is just twigs and leaves and normal dry things and
Count straight off.
nothing unusual or strange or foreboding about that. No, not whatsoever. But the others are, you're very concerned seeing this dried, desiccated, slightly crushed human hand looks like it's been ripped off of very jagged edged right around where the wrist would be, a little bit of bone sticking out. And the way the way Lizzie is clutching it, you don't think you'd be able to get it out of her hand anytime soon.
Where did you get that, Lizzie?
yeah. Why did you go into the forest all by yourself?
It's Joe's.
It
It's
can't be
Joe's.
Joe's. It can't be. There must have been like a dog must have dug it up or something. Look at it. It's old. It's almost like one of the mummies in the museums or something.
It's much to try.
It's Joe's. It ripped off my, and she starts to wail again.
Oh, Lizzie.
I tried to save. I tried. I got it. I gotta get off. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop it. I tried. I didn't.
Didn't
What
stop
is
wet
going
deer.
on here? And you start to see lantern light, and hear a booming male voice coming down the path from the direction that the caravan, from the direction you came from. You turn to look, and in the light, you see two male figures, one of which has a shotgun kind of underneath one of his arms, kind of tucked in as ready, with a lantern in the other. What are you doing here? What is all this? Is everyone okay?
Oh, good evening. Lord Montague-Philips. I do apologise for the fuss. Mrs. Ardley here has had a nasty shock, and we're just going to take her back to our campsite to make sure that she's all right. To whom am I speaking?
Renly Abbott. You know you're on private property, correct?
Oh, oh no, gosh, terribly sorry.
Yes, I live up at Dameron House. This is our land. What are you doing here?
Oh, well, there's a young gentleman gone missing. And we thought we'd have a look, see if we could find any trace of him. To help his mother here, yes.
Yes. Well, there.
I do apologise for the trespass. Completely unintentional, I assure you.
I see.
Yes, we just went into the forest following the tracks of what we presume to be this lady's son.
And he looks at Polly. Your son is missing.
She's had a bit of a shock. I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, he's looking at Polly, did you say? No,
Yes.
this lady here, Lizzie. I mean, I sort of, don't shove her at him, but I like, this lady here.
Sylvia, you realize as you turn around to point out Lizzie that she's not there.
Oh no, Lizzie.
And you think you hear some underbrush being disturbed.
Oh gosh. This is bad. She's in such a state. She might hurt herself. Please, we need to go find her.
I think perhaps if we go back to the house, and you can relay everything that's going on, and I could send some of my the caretaker, some of our staff out to seek her out. We obviously wouldn't want anything to happen to her. You say that her son disappeared somewhere nearby?
Yes, we have reason to believe that. Yes. Yes. Yes, I think everybody could do with a nice cup of tea and a bit of a warm. Yes, Mr. Abbott. Please, by all means, lead the way. As long as ladies, everyone's happy with that. That.
Young ladies being out in the dead of night, out with only one gentleman. We would not want anything to happen to reputations or anything. And of course, we wouldn't want a highly hysterical woman running around our forest. I will send some staff out to find and care for her. If you would like to come back, I have a car right back here. I'm assuming that the caravan, the overturned caravan, was that yours?
Did you say overturned?
Yes, actually, it was kind of a little bit of a skew, and did you have did you have a horse?
Binky's starting to look a bit worried. Yeah, going, yes.
We found some broken strapping out there, but oh, I'm so sorry. I am terribly sorry. If anything, it looks like your horse probably ran off.
Well, to be quite honest, quite probably she's far smarter than I am. Yes. Yes. And I really wouldn't worry about these ladies. They're more than capable of taking care of themselves.
Well, nothing that some warm and a cup of tea in a safe location. Ladies should not be out unaccompanied late this night. Again, I have my car this way. That would probably make things easier, as you don't seem to have transportation. And while it's not that far of a walk, there's no need.
When he says car, Polly sideways eyes and tries to catch everybody else's eyes, because car tire tracks.
Caroline's making the same side eye at everybody. So we're all just
I think
suspiciously
we're all
side-eyeing each other.
Said car. Well, yes.
Is
yes,
anybody moving?
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
think definitely.
let's all get a cup of tea at his place, and that's just what we wanted anyway.
Anywhere
Perfect.
indoors is good with me.
Righto. Right this way. And he turns and begins to walk back in the direction that you had previously come.
I'm going to keep an eye out, see if I can spot any traces of Mrs. Ardley, but slightly concerned that she ran off into the woods. I mean, he is the lord of the manor, and if she's trespassing, I can kind of understand why. But yes, very worried about Mrs. Ardley at the moment.
So do I understand everybody is going to be following him then?
Yes.
Or,
Yes,
okay.
please.
Suspiciously, but yes.
Okay. Just want to be sure.
The
Okay.
lesser of two evils at this point. Tentacly tree monster or this man.
Okay. All right. So you head back towards the campsite and come out. And indeed, the dirt has been kicked up quite well. You see some of the barding that was on the horse is laying about. It looks like Chestnut somehow managed to undo itself. And these are kind of older that, you don't have the finest quality on this, but it looks like maybe one of the leather straps did rip off, and that's with some work and a lot of stamping around. The horse was able to kind of work itself out, and you see the dirt kicked up a ways heading away from the campsite. You think it's probably in this kind of slightly in the direction of the town. At least that's what you're hoping for. The caravan, from all the kicking around, has kind of taken on a little bit of an angle. And it looks like probably some little bit of writing and some repair work would be in order, but it's not going anywhere right now. The bedrolls that were put down, at least a couple of them have been trampled, probably by Chestnut. And, well, they'll clean. They may be slightly ripped, might need some darning, but other than that, you don't see anything missing. What you do notice is a rather posh car, which would on the road. And there is enough room for everyone to just fit, to kind of squeeze in, especially certainly towards the back. This is one of those stretch cars that you see with longer, so it has almost 3 rows of 2 rows for seating, and then kind of the back bumper seat that they had at the time. Again, if you get in and you kind of squish in, everyone's able to get into the car. The Mr. Abbott has speaks quietly to the gentleman that was with him, and that gentleman kind of heads off in a different direction on foot. They're probably providing enough room for everyone to fit. Get in. And these newfangled automobiles, well, they are a bit fun, a bit temperamental, but I think they will carry us. It may be a bit jarring for your delicate natures, ladies, but I'm sure we will manage.
Lady like snort. Can't help it.
And he turns the car and he heads up the road. The house comes into view, and it is quite large. Bring something up here for myself. There we go. So it is absolutely what could be considered a bit of a manor house. It's 3 stories, very wide, multiple rooms. You're pretty sure this is probably the biggest houses, for people with money in the area that, was on the map. And he pulls the car right up in front. A very classic architecture where there is the big entrance with the stairs on either side. So when you come out of the car, you have to go, around from the front door and go up the stairs to where the front door is on the patio. And Mr. Abbott while he opens the door on one side, does not stand there to wait. He continues up towards the stairs. You said your name, Lord Montague-Philips?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Yes. Well, please come in. What is a gentleman like you doing in a place like this?
Got feeling perfectly at home, to be quite honest, given the size of this pile. Yes, we haven't made any introductions, have we? This is my sister, Lady Caroline Montague-Philips. This is Dr. Sylvia Brown, and this is Miss Polly Wentworth.
And what would bring you out to our estate this late evening?
I'll let my sister explain.
Yes, well, we're out looking for a lost boy, aren't we? Thought we made that clear.
Would not getting the constable or having the men go out in the evening and to search be a better option?
Ah, yes, the men all down at the pub drinking themselves so full of alcohol that they can barely stumble home to their wives and their children. Yes, wonderful time to send them out in the middle of the night, in the dark, looking for a lost child. That sounds like an excellent idea.
And all of you come up into the front door. Dameron Hall, you can tell, was probably at second look, now that you have some more light, you can see that the architecture of this is very old, probably a good 100 years. It's considered small by mansion standards, elegant, maybe was more of a hunting lodge. Lady Caroline and Lord Binky would definitely have a better handle on some of this. But for what it was, it's very run down. The two of you definitely notice the facade is crumbling a bit. The front steps are a bit uneven. There's moss growing. Whatever staff Mr. Abbott believes that he has, it cannot be more than maybe a few people. And even then you question that, because any staff worth their salt would not allow such a home, a building to come under such disrepair. You notice as you got closer that a couple of the ground floor windows are boarded up, and you do not see any bit of electrical lighting. Everything is very fire-based. So this has definitely not been modernized in any way. You're led through the front door of the house into a very well-lit hallway, lots of candles and a bit of gaslight. And you see, as you enter into the room, another man, tall, slender, not too far away. He stands there and he kind of looks, Renly, you're back. Oh. And he sort of looks at Renly, looks at you and back. We have visitors? Yes, found them in the forest. They say they're looking for a lost boy. Oh, goodness. Well, welcome to Dameron Hall. I apologize. My name is Palmerston. Renly and I live in this establishment, if you call it that. Please enter. I shall have our staff gain some refreshments for you. It's maybe clear, but it is chilly out. This way. And he motions you to enter into a side room. Would be what would be considered the gentleman's room for Lord and Lady Montague. So you recognize it's similar to a parlor. kind of a receiving area off to the side in these smaller mansions where they don't have a single room for every single circumstance. You notice in the home that there are candles on the wall and on the mantelpiece. That's providing the majority of the light in the room. The once grand sofas and chairs are definitely shabby. The elegant patterned green silk brocade has been faded and is threadbare. The maintenance is definitely not there. What's in the home has probably been there for quite some time, but it's clean and you don't see messes all over the place. So there is at least that. The two gentlemen talk in hushed whispers for a little bit, and Palmerston disappears into the back room, assuming to go get some refreshments. And Abbott heads into the gentleman's room without waiting to see whether you follow.
Well, Caro, to be quite honest, I don't think we really needed to have bothered standing on ceremony. They don't really seem to have read their etiquette books.
I like being invited into the gentleman's room for once.
Something new.
Quite. Well, I don't think we need to worry about etiquette that much out here. Anyway, Binky. And since when have we been involved in much in the way of etiquette over the last few months?
To be fair, yes. Well, and about you, I could do with the sit down and a bit of a warm by a fire. So,
Renly
I'm
goes
not-
and makes himself comfortable in a nearby chair near the fireplace.
I will be following him in and plonking myself down in a seat.
Okay. After a little bit of
By all
time.
means.
Oh, go ahead.
No, by all means. It's been that kind of evening.
The other gentleman, Palmerston, comes back. You notice now that you have a better look at him, that he is very fashionably dressed, impeccably, in fact. You see him, the word dandy comes to mind. This is a man who definitely enjoys his wardrobe. And you also notice that some of what he's wearing, one of the sleeves is torn, and his arm is bandaged. A little bit, just a little bit of blood seems to show through, but Sylvia, you realize that that makes sense and it doesn't seem to be getting worse. But yes, it is bandaged up. He comes back and he stretches out on one of the couches. You can see now in more light that he has a few scrapes and bruises on his, kind of around his face, and a bit on one hand. It's quite a night for everything, to be out. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful, beautiful summer evening, but perhaps searches are better done in the light when one can actually see what they're doing. And I'm sure the men from the village could make a good go of it versus having to, well, put your own sake, your own bodies at risk.
Well, we promised the mother that we would keep an eye out as we were passing through that way. And we just happened to, stumble upon tracks that might have been the boys. That's all there was to it.
Ah, well,
You've been in a bit of a scrape tonight, have you? Are you okay? I'm a doctor.
oh, well, goodness. Yes, well, it's some projects of ours, and he kind of glances over at Abbott. a project of ours unfortunately went a little sideways, and unfortunately, well, sometimes when projects go sideways, things get complicated, but I'm fine. I don't want to worry your I don't want to worry your pretty heads about that. Oh, look, some refreshment. And a third gentleman comes in, and he carries a tray of cups of, it looks like hot cocoa and tea, a teapot with some teacups and a bit of milk and a sugar bowl. And he puts it down. And Palmerston goes, "Thank you." And the gentleman, without a word, turns and leaves. Feel free, ladies, to and Lord Montague-Philips, to help yourself. It's warming, but if you would like to add a little bit more fire in your belly, you are welcome. There are, and he points over to a sidebar where there are bottles of various liquors. There are probably some whiskey, brandy, port, and sherry. Please feel free to whatever helps you warm for the evening.
I think as the host's attention goes to the refreshments, it's time for us to exchange some more furious glances.
Oh, don't worry. Binky's been definitely rolling his eyes quite a lot during this conversation.
Rolled
Side
my eyes so
project
hard I could see
scratched
my
up.
brain.
Delicate, pretty heads.
I would not turn down a hot cocoa, though. This is just the thing.
I think a large brandy for Polly. That hip
I'll
flask
get
didn't
you.
go very far.
I will get you one of those because I'm going to get one for myself and I'm going to fill
Oh.
up the flask while I'm at it.
Thank you. Let's drink him out of house and home, and that'll teach him a lesson. Calling us delicate.
Thinking.
Don't go drinking with a Mancunian. You will regret it. So, there we are.
Okay. All right. As you go about gaining, choosing your beverages and whatnot, Pemberton kind of, or Palmerston, sorry, he kind of rubs his arm a bit. Yes, as I was saying, there was a project we were working on, and unfortunately, it dealt with a neighbor's menagerie. There was an unfortunate escape by an Altarian tree beast. I do believe, a creature from the darkest Amazonia. It's become rather large and a bit friskier than the neighbor could handle. It was quite dangerous. Hence the rather precipitous rescue. So Abbott had just taken care of me, and we were trying to find the beast that had decided to run wild. And then I guess he found you. It was
You really
quite
should get that
dangerous.
looked at by a doctor.
Oh no, I will be fine. My man took cares to clean and dress the wound as appropriate as possible with his medical training from being in the army. I'm sure it'll be just fine.
Of course. Yes. Did you say tree beast?
Oh yes, quite exotic. Coming from the deepest, darkest parts of Amazonia. Our neighbor decided that is rather keeper of such exotic, thinking that it elevates their status just a hair more than it really
Can I
does.
psychology him? Because that sounds like bullshit to me. Can I
Go
psychology him?
ahead. Please.
Okay. I've got
think I
60
will
in
join you.
psychology, so
If I may, I will join you with more sideways eyeing to everybody.
57 under 60. That's a pass.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, he's bullshitting. You know, whatever happened that it's the pompous boasting of that you're very used to dealing with in males.
Yeah, I give a like little twitch of my head towards Sylvia, as in just a he's lying kind of. This is fishy.
You're used to like some of this type of boasting, especially Lady Caroline, because this in your circles, your former circles before you opted for the life that you have now, very, very, it's all over. It's rampant. You know, a lot of they puff themselves up and they boast and show off their
Daddy's
wealth.
friends.
And, yeah. So the fire is warm. It's definitely nice to get out of the chill air from the outside. And as Palmerston continues to talk on, Renly finally clears his throat rather loudly. And goes, "Don't you think we should, if they want to stay, we should get them some accommodations, maybe, you know, a couple of rooms. They're definitely better in here than they are outside. I saw what was left of their campsite. And camping, it's just not good." "Oh dear, yes. Absolutely. If you would do us the favor, the honor, would to stay. We will get some rooms ready for you. We'll take a few minutes. I'll get my man on that right away. I myself must. Renly, could you help me? I need to get I think it's time to change this bandage. It's looking a little worse for wear. If you would excuse us, we will see to getting your accommodations ready as soon as possible. Please enjoy the beverages and the fire. It shan't take us long."
Yeah.
And the two
Thank
of them
you.
stand up and begin to leave.
As they leave, like after they've gone out, I look at Sylvia. Just, some men would rather get blood poisoning than be seen by a woman doctor.
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't begrudge him the blood poisoning if, you know, I might be coming well.
As they leave, they slide the two double doors together, and you hear a click.
Oh no.
Oh, they've locked us in.
Also, have they possibly drugged us with the drink, and are we about to be human sacrificed to the tree beast
Wow.
now?
For everyone who took a drink from anything, please roll me a Constitution roll.
Oh, we should have seen that coming,
Uh.
shouldn't we?
Oh, well, you know,
Uh.
we're just trying to pretend it wasn't going to happen.
19 under 50, hard success.
Oh, no, that's a fail.
Lick
Poor
shame from
Binky.
me.
It's not a
That-
fumble, but, you know.
31 against 60, and I'm happy to spend the luck to make it a hard if I need to.
Oh, I don't think that would be.
It was just Binky.
necessary.
Kill on brand for Binky.
I told you not to drink with me.
Oh, goodness. Now, for those who drank the alcohol, which was, I think, 2 of you, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 had something warm to drink?
That's right.
Okay.
Rocco, I think.
Okay. For the 2 that drank the alcohol, you feel a little, you know, the fire in the belly, and you feel a little swimmy. But you think it's maybe, you know, it's been a while. You haven't really had much to eat. It's been a very stressful night. You're very tired at this point. It's quite late. And maybe it's just the warmth of the fire. combined with the drink that has you feeling, a little, just, I guess we would say chill at this, in this modern age. For those of you who drank either the tea or the hot chocolate, you're feeling very, very sleepy. And just curling up sounds like the best plan that you can think of. And you are quickly snoring away.
Well, there's got to be some rugs in here, so I will find whatever rugs they have and just cover over, gone to sleep.
This chair is too comfortable and the fire is too warm.
Polly thinks she should probably poke the sleepers, because do they really want to be sleeping here? But she just feels a bit too swimmy, and it's so nice and warm here, and maybe she knows she should get up, but she doesn't want to. But she's trying. She's trying really hard.
No.
Oh. So you're going to try and keep yourself awake?
Yeah.
I think Binky's just going to start snoring as soon as he's put blankets on people. It's like home.
Holly, go ahead and give me another con roll.
Okay.
You're kind of determined to stay awake, even though everything tells you just curling up sounds like a good idea.
That's 29 against 60, which is a hard success without having to spend anything.
Okay. You realize that falling asleep here, first of all, would be improper, just purely etiquette-wise. But there's something from the earlier experience that you had that as you start to doze off, you can't really necessarily say it's a flashback, but there is something that sparks you awake. And every time you feel like you're going to slip, it hits you again, that grip of terror, the cold, this almost a smell of rot and rain in your nose, in your nostrils, in your sinuses. And that seems to keep you awake. You don't want to go to sleep. Your body tries, but you really don't want to sleep, because whatever is waiting for you in sleep, which is the only way that's what comes to mind, it is worse than trying to struggle against, staying awake when the body obviously doesn't want to. The others are slipping off into dreamland. And Holly, when you look over, you notice that a gentleman has come through the door. The door is closed behind him and locked, and he is big and silent and standing there with his arms crossed.
Everyone, well, wake up. And she's going to try and reach out, and if she's in arm's reach of anybody, she's going to try and shake whoever is within arm's reach of her. Come on. There's someone here. Can you hear me? Anyone?
Yeah, can we manage to wake up?
If go ahead and if whoever Polly tries to shake awake. So Polly, just let us know who, and that person should make another con roll.
Well, I think Binky brought the brandy over, so I'm guessing that they're probably within arm's reach, because it would be natural, wouldn't it, to just sit down by whoever it is that you've just given a drink to.
Right. Come on, dice. Be good. Oh God, that's even worse than last time. Right.
Actually, she was sitting down by Sylvia. That's who's within arm's reach. No, not Rin.
Okay.
Not Rin.
Not a fumble. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. But not a success either. Okay.
Not a success.
Okay. Polly, you go about trying to shake some of them awake. After your attempt to shake Binky awake doesn't seem to gain any traction. You hear a from the man at the door. He puts his arms down. He's got a smirk on his face. He turns, you hear a click. He opens the door. He steps through and closes the door again with a click. And you hear you don't hear any steps going away. So you're pretty sure he's probably standing outside the door. But he seems to think that whatever has happened is exactly what's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay, since that has failed, Polly is going to try and probably holding on to furniture as she moves so that she doesn't either fall over or kind of trip on something, because it feels like her feet aren't moving the way that she wants them to. She's going to try and make it over to the window, and if it's possible to open it a little bit to get some cold air in.
Okay. So you go over to the window and you are trying to open it, and you manage to finally, with a bit of heft, fling it open. The air is cool, and it does seem to help reduce the grogginess that your brain is trying to fight through. But as you look out the window, you see it. As it emerges from the forest and begins to cross the lawn towards the house. Now, when I say the lawn, obviously this is an estate, so there's quite a bit of lawn. But there it is. It's impossible to look away. Its heavy, bloated appearance grips you tightly as you recognize what you saw in your vision come to light. The bloated, hairy body covered with pucker holes, looking like the mouths of very old, toothless men. Or are they nostrils? They drip a green, pus-like substance that even from a distance, you can see it dripping. You could almost feel it, the stickiness, and feel the squelch. As the pus drops to the ground, it leaves blackened, charred circles in the grass. The dark young of Shub-Niggurath exists, and it is coming to Dameron Hall. Please roll sanity.
Looking out the window. Big mistake. I just rolled a 6 against 58.
Nice.
Could be worse.
So you are going to take 2 points of sanity because you cannot see something like this and not take any sanity loss.
Of course.
So you're going to take 2. And as the chill air kind of floats into the room, sucking out some of the heat within. I would like the other three of you to roll me Constitution.
On dice, otherwise you're going in the jail again.
You two over 50. Nope.
Yeah, that would be actually 49 out of 6.
Hard success for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Go, Sylvia.
All right. Anyone who is successful, you begin to rouse. The cooler air cuts through the warmth, that blanket of warmth that was in the room. And you shiver a bit as your eye kind of half cracks open. You feel still a bit woozy and groggy, but you are a bit awake, as I believe there are probably some interesting noises coming from Polly's mouth as her gaze looks upon this lumbering creature, this mass, as it actually moves fairly deftly and with some reasonable speed on it towards Dameron Hall.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to dart forward at intervals. It just kind of darts forward and then it kind of slows down and then it kind of comes forward again. It's a bit almost like something insectoid about the gait of it. And then, Polly, it stops. And it looks, and you can feel its attention go to the open window where you stand. What is everyone doing?
Oh, I really shouldn't fall asleep on sofas. I say, Polly, that's a bit of a draft. Can you shut that window, please?
No. Come on. Come and see this. This is the thing, that tree, that thing I saw. It's out there. I don't know, should we get out or out the window or barricade the window? I don't know. I don't know what to do. Binky, wake up the others. Wake up Lady Carolyn and Sylvia. Sylvia, can you hear me? Are you awake?
Oh,
Doctor?
what happened?
I don't know. I don't know, but that thing.
Did they spike our drinks? These bastards.
I think they might have done.
Oh,
But there's a thing
that
out
would
there and it's
explain the
coming for
head.
us.
Oh. Sorry, what's coming for us?
The thing I told you, the tree, the walking tree with the
What,
tentacles.
do you mean the Amazonian tree beast? Is that what it is? Is that
I
the thing
suppose-
that scratched up Palmerston?
I suppose it has to be.
That's mad.
I mean, come away from the window, Miss Wentworth. Come and sit down. Maybe a little bit more brandy. Oh no, that's probably
No.
not a good idea.
No, no more brandy.
Let's not have that.
He's gonna go to the window and try and help her, and also shut the window because it's cold. Because she's obviously having a bit of a moment. So
Binky, you go to the window
Oh.
to maneuver Polly back into the room and you see it.
good Lord.
The dark young standing there in the middle of the lawn, not far from where the gravel meets the grass, looking up at the window at you. Please roll sanity for me. Oh, that's going to be good.
Not a fumble. But that is 72 out of 40.
Okay.
And that would be an awful lot of luck. So no, let's go with it. This is a one shot.
I love when they say that. Please roll me a d6, Lynn.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Well,
Oh,
you say that now.
Thank you, Di. That was a 1.
Okay. So you
Nice.
you managed to only take 1 point of sanity as you notice this postulating multi-gap furry tentacle mass tree thing staring up with intent with you feel it more than see it. Its full attention upon the window as it begins to step forward again. As it takes 2 steps forward, you hear shotguns ring out. You realize 10 feet below you that there on the ground, you see the shadows of 4 men with shotguns, and they are letting loose. The dark young stops, and it takes a second as it takes the hits into itself. And you get the impression that it didn't hurt it. It just irritated it. So now you have a very irritated creature. But its attention seems to be solely on the 4 men with the shotguns. And it begins to move forward once again, but this time focusing on the 4 men who continue to blast away as they reload as quickly as possible.
Right. I'm going to shut the window, grab Polly, and try and work out if there's another door out of this room that we just go further back in the building.
You realize that's probably an excellent idea, especially because you realize that as massive as this thing is, you are 10 feet off the ground, which normally would provide a sense of safety. Except as tall and as massive as it is, those tentacles could probably reach up into that window.
Oh, let's not.
Yeah, slam window, grab, try and get everybody out the back. As
Still
close to the back of the
unconscious.
building as possible.
Lady Caroline, could you please give me one more con roll? And at this point, I'm going to give you a bonus die. Because when the
For all the
shotguns
screaming?
start, the screaming and all the shotguns, something like that, that is going to trigger something in your mind, probably set off some type of alert. Especially because with your childhood and your upbringing, yours and Binky's, hunts were the respect around the guns and whatnot were very much a part of the family, familial traditions.
17 under 50.
Perfect. That wakes you up. Grogginess gone. Obviously, there are shots ringing out, and there is screaming. 2 very bad things. And those pull you immediately out of your not just your sleep. The grogginess is gone, and you're actually a fairly clear mind.
Time to
Binky,
go,
what did you
Carol.
do?
I know this time nothing, but it's time to go.
All
It
right.
is time to go. Come on.
Out the back door. Tradesman's entrance, I'm afraid. Slumming it slightly, but the front door is not a good idea right now. Miss Wentworth assures me that the tree creature that you and she saw in her dreams is out on the front lawn.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Miranda, I'm going to ask you if you could put up the map, the Dameron house, the layout, please. This would be a good time for you to have an understanding of where you're at. Thank you. And I'm going to put that here in the chat for those, for our suffragettes. So you are in the gentleman's room. There on the lower left. As you can see, there are the windows, and then there is the door, the sliding double door, which you are pretty sure is locked at this point.
It's a good shoulder charge won't take care of. Okay. Unless any one of you ladies was practicing some of your more nefarious skills whilst you were incarcerated.
That's greatest. Never.
I have no lock picking to speak of.
Me neither, but I do have strength 70.
Break down the door, Polly.
Can give it a go. Presumably, with there being a fire in this room, there would be some fire irons or a poker or something
Yes,
else.
Yep, you have all of the accoutrements that you would for the a proper fireplace right nearby.
Okay. Using whatever looks like the sturdiest thing, whether it's the coal scuttle or a poker, I think Polly is going to try and hit the lock.
As you reach for the poker to grab it in your hand, you hear a scream come from below and outside, and you're pretty sure you hear a crunch and squelch following, cutting off, strangling that scream. You hear some unearthly sounds emanating up towards through the closed window. You grab the iron poker and head back towards the door.
Okay. So I'm guessing that's a strength roll?
Yes, please.
64. That is a pass.
Very nice.
Nice.
You hit it with all of your force. You realize that probably hitting it where the mechanism is probably a bit too sturdy, but since it has kind of the thinner inlays with it, you hit at what you think is probably the weakest part of the door, and you are able to crack it through. It'll probably take a couple more hits, but you think you can manage to break open a hole enough to reach around to where the lock is, assuming that somebody maybe left the key there. Or have can't think of the word here. Anyway, a handle that you can grab. That'll work.
And she really gives it some welly. She really whacks it. And in her head, she's seeing every police officer who ever tried to put her in a chokehold. She's seeing every man who ever told her that she was worth nowhere near as much wages as the men in the laundry were worth. And that's what she's seeing. And she's really hitting it as hard as she can.
You give it about 3 or 4 good smacks and put every bit of strength behind it. The rest of you probably have backed up a little bit. There is a little bit of flying wood splinters, but Holly seems to be doing quite well. And you finally manage to break open enough of a hole that you're able to reach around. I'm guessing that's what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So you reach around and you fiddle. You feel you think you can feel a key. It's gonna take a minute, but your motivation is increased as a tentacle smashes through the window or two, and you can see. Now you can fully hear more screams and shots. They're shouting all sorts of colorful language is coming forth, rage and fear, and the guttural sounds that no human vocal cords could make coming through as the tentacle flaps around, in the window pane or through the window pane in the window frame. You manage to find, yes, there's a key. You manage to turn it and you hear the click.
Wonderful, Polly. That's amazing.
Fantastic work, Miss Wentworth. Right, everybody, let's go.
Yes, let's get out. Let's get
Don't
out.
have to tell me twice.
Can you walk, Lady Carolyn? Are you all right?
Haven't been better. Let's go.
Good.
Where are you headed to?
I think basically we need to get out back, possibly via the dining room, and out the back onto or just anywhere we can find that will get us onto the steps out the back of the house. Presumably, this being a halfway decent manor, they will have stables or something. Obviously, I suspect the car is a goner.
You're not sure what's
So-
become of it.
Yes, it's
Mhm.
probably been a bit flattened. But you never know. They might have pulled it round to the stable yard before they drugged us and locked us in there. So I think just basically getting out of here and getting away. I don't think staying in this house is particularly sensible if that thing can walk up steps. I'm sure the front door won't last 5 minutes.
No arguments for me.
Right. So long as it's still distracted on that side of the building, getting out the other way should do it, shouldn't it?
Let's stay away from windows just in case. Just in case there's more of them.
Not a
Oh
comfortable
God,
thought, Miss
not more
Wentworth,
of them.
but yes, let's worry about that if it happens.
Okay, so tell me exactly where you are headed through the manor, through the hall.
I'm trying to work out where the doors actually are on this.
Okay,
Not-
so
Not the easiest map.
well, that's
looking
Jane's
at
fault. Looking at the what you see in the gentleman's room, the
Yeah.
window looks over onto the terrace. So towards the left,
Yes.
that's the window onto the terrace, and right about there is where the whatever pitch battle is going on with the
Right.
dark young. The door that you have gone through leads to a back
The
stair.
back stairs. Yeah.
Yep, and to
Right.
and to the hallway. So you can either take the stairs down out to the back of the house, which is there on the south.
Yeah.
Or
would- yeah.
you can take the hallway either to the eating room, you can take it to the billiard room and picture gallery,
Yeah.
or you can go down the principal staircase, which is the main staircase that would lead out to.
Yeah, I got confused because I thought it was attacking the
Yes.
Logia. It's actually attacking. So going to the dining room, the eating room would be a pretty bad idea. If everyone else is in agreement, I would suggest legging it down the back stairs and
Yeah.
heading for the southwest corner.
It's
Getting
presumably.
Yes,
out.
please.
Yeah. I mean, Polly wouldn't know this, but Binky and Lady Caroline, I'm sure, would, that the back stairs is going to lead in
To
the
the servants'
interior
quarters.
and downstairs, isn't it? It's not going to be many windows down there.
And the backstairs also probably are, sort of narrower and don't appeal to a creature that size.
You believe the back stairs more than likely lead down into whatever servants' quarters are on the much lower level. There may be a back door down there. You're not sure. That's probably where the kitchen is. And any kind of servants' quarters, possibly a small office for them. You don't know what the condition of anything of down there, but that's probably what those particular stairs are for. So they're very small and they're narrow.
But there should be a tradesman's back there. Everybody's always going on about the tradesman's entrance. So it's probably in the servants' quarters. If not, you can throw me to the beast.
Don't tempt us, Binky. Playful smile as we're running.
Okay, so you come out of the door from the gentleman's room and are just starting down the back stairs. You hear from a room down the hall chanting
Ah,
in a strange language that you've never heard before. I don't know if anybody has a cult, but if you'd like a roll, I will give that to you.
I mean, to be quite honest, even if you've got base, it's always worth a go.
It's always
because
worth a
you
go.
Never know.
I mean, it's 5% chance, isn't it?
This
just
is
in
when we all
case.
roll 96 or higher.
not me.
I will spend 15 points of luck.
Wow.
Yes.
Go, Carolyn.
I
Oh,
fumbled.
Nearly a
See?
sunball. I know.
You know,
93.
This is what I get for tempting fate and say, if we roll 96 or higher, we're all going to fumble. Guess who did?
Yes.
no! Oh no, Binky!
Oh, Binky.
Our
Binky.
favorite occultist siblings.
Well, I've spent the luck to succeed, and poor Binky's fumbled. So how's this gonna go?
Okay. Okay. So here's what happens. Because I just need a second. Okay. The sound of the chanting starts to float through the air. You realize that it is coming. We thought it might be the billiard room, but no, it's coming from around the corner in the eating room. You know, there's a long, as you saw, as you passed by on your way in, you saw that was basically the dining room, long table. And while you didn't really get much of a glimpse on it, that's the chanting that is happening is definitely coming from there. Binky, the chanting starts to slip and permeate through your mind. Your body, you feel it go cold, your blood run cold. You're frozen. The fear, the terror that grips you, feel like you can barely breathe. You cannot move. Lady Caroline, you, in some time before in fact, what helped you move on from the life that you knew into the life that you now know, when you started to read and educate yourself, even though it was frowned upon by your parents, some of the books that you read, you started exploring this world beyond the veil. You actually met in secret because your father would absolutely not approve and probably would have locked you away in your room. You actually met with a couple of spiritualists to learn more. It was fascinating. You weren't sure, but the more information you learned, the less your sheltered life, it felt more like a cage, and knowledge felt like freedom. You could make your own decisions in your head, and that's what, in part, what led you to. But in that interest, you can hear and almost take in whatever that chant is actually saying. You almost can guarantee it is like summoning a demon from hell. It is like black speech covering everything. It is hard and sharp in your mind. And you know from what you had explored and learned that if whatever that creature, whatever that thing is out there that is sucking away life, this has something to do with that. You don't know the full connection, but you definitely know that these two are connected. And whoever is doing these chanting, and you are getting two distinct voices, whatever they're doing is definitely directly involved with that thing, that creature, that mass out there writhing and sucking away the life of the four men who tried to save the hall. Binky, you're in front. You can't move. The stairs are narrow and everybody is stuck behind you. And from below you, you hear quiet footsteps coming up the stairs. And as she turns the corner, you see the disheveled face and form of Lizzie.
Oh,
And in her hand, the light catches the gleam of a very sharp knife. She puts her finger to her lips and she smiles, and the wild look in her eye tells all of you whatever is about to happen, that is murderous intent.
Binky's just going to be standing there making strangle noises at the moment.
Dude, what are you doing?
It's because of them. They took my boy, and now I will take them, their lives.
I can't actually argue with that, considering I think they're summoning the big thing that's out there. So I'm going to say go ahead. You go, girl.
She stands up
go get him.
in the step below you, Binky, and she looks at you. She's waiting for you to move, but you are frozen in terror.
And still just making strangled noises.
Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Help me. Will you help me? They took my boy. You hear the smash of the window in one of the rooms. You hear a yell from the eating room. And the chanting gets faster and louder, harsher. Hurry, we have to hurry. And she tries to smash you, kind of trying to push you back, Binky. I think we're going to be making some rolls here.
We are. He's actually he's ridiculously strong, actually.
So let's do some opposed rolls, please.
Yeah. Okay, dice. You duplicitous little toe rags. This is the time you fail. So is it the post strength by any chance?
Yes, yes, it is. She's not strong.
Oh, you little toads. Now, Lydia knows what my dice are like. And total drama queens. Guess who just rolled a critical?
Oh, did you?
I did.
My. She got a 40 under 70. So I think
I'm about to get knifed.
critical fumble fail. Oh no. So I'm guessing this is a critical in a bad way, not in a good way.
Oh, yes, because it means she's not going to be able to shove me out of the way. It's only going to annoy her.
You rolled a 1?
I rolled a
Wow.
1. Yeah, I rolled a 0-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you definitely hold your ground. And she pushes hard, but she is just, you are an immovable force And she starts getting very, very frustrated and starts yelling a bit. Well, she starts talking a bit louder, and then that talking turns to yelling. The chanting in the other room pauses for just a beat or so, and then continues even harder, louder, faster. Whatever they're doing, they are trying to finish something. Ooh, that is a 3. Binky, unfortunately, Lizzie's administration's pushing against you. See, your mind seems to kind of slip away. The chanting is now drawing you into the room. You want to go. You need to go. Whatever this crazed woman is doing is nothing compared to what your new purpose is. Your whole life. This is it. This is what you have to do. This is where you need to be. Go ahead and give me a power roll. Let's see if there's any
Okay,
resistance.
you
Come on, Binky, I
traitorous
believe
little
in you.
dice. Okay, traitorous dice, behave. They're going to go for the best storytelling option. They always do. I've trained them too well. That was a 98 and my power is 40.
Yeah.
But I sense we are coming to a climax and I have 60 points of luck I've not spent anything on yet. So, great. That's... oh, it's a fumble. I can't really...
You can't spend luck on
I
fumbles,
can't
can you?
spend luck on fumbles. Damn it.
Fumbles.
Oh,
Oh,
Right,
Binky.
yes.
Binky.
Told you they were flower queens.
Not our Binky.
Binky turns. His eyes have glazed over. He doesn't seem to see anybody. And he turns and he walks, almost strides purposefully into the room beyond. Lizzie actually stops and pauses and no, not again, not again, not again. And she starts to rush forward into your group. What do you do?
Running after Binky.
How far away is Binky from us at this point?
He just without word or anything, just kind of pushes through, but he's still fairly close. Who was bringing up the rear?
Probably me again.
Okay. He is just past you, but probably you might have one shot to go and grab him like by the back of the collar or something.
Would that
What
be
I'm
a
trying to do.
Dex or something?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, because you're going to have to lunge and like kind of see if you can
You
grab
stay
him.
right here, mister, and that's a 34 under 50.
Yes.
Binky, your collar is grabbed and all of a sudden you are stopped. You can't seem to move forward.
Well, no, not having this.
Please,
And
Please, Bancroft, please. Come on, this way.
oh,
That
he's
is
gonna
not where we're
struggle.
going.
He's definitely going to struggle because he wants to be in that room.
So let's call it this. I think so. We have Lady Caroline. You are going to try to grapple him, maybe hold him,
Pretty much.
roughly. Okay. So since Sylvia has a grip on him, I'm going to give you a bonus die to your grapple roll. And obviously, Binky, you are going to fight it. So
That's
we'll do an
fighting
opposed.
brawl.
Yeah.
Fighting brawl. Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing for that bonus die because I rolled a 91. That takes it down to an 11.
Hey, 99, and my fighting brawl is 40. Another
Fumble
fumble
again?
God,
How
these
many
dice
fumbles
are
is that,
dreadful.
Lynn?
That's
awesome.
about 4 or 5.
Brilliant. Lady Caroline, you and your brother, in your growing up, got into many, many a tussle. And you have always kind of held to the fact that you beat him soundly many more times than he was able to turn the tide. Generally, you were able to do it both fairly and when you had to play dirty, you did. That was not a problem. And that all comes back, that all of those skills, again, like riding a bicycle, and you are able to soundly tackle him in the best possible way, holding up one arm around the throat, another one holding up one of his legs in some type of full capture. He is not going anywhere. The inhuman sounds from outside of the smashed window in that room get louder, and you start to hear the creaking of stone as something seems to be almost pulling itself up the 10-foot wall. Lizzie attempts to move through the group of you. Well, the two of you that are still standing. Polly and Sylvia. Lizzie is attempting to get through you and trying to get over the now held body of Binky below and trying to get into the room.
I'm happy to let her. I think she's got a mission to fulfill that I don't begrudge her, though I've personally sort of sworn an oath against it. So I'd rather like to, not be part of it.
So you're just going to stand back and go. No.
Yeah, can we go the other way now? Like, you distract them for us. It's fine. I just want to out of here.
The
He's
stairs,
pulling a
the stairs.
Batman. I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save
Don't
you
have to
either.
save you.
All right, ladies, please tell me what you are doing. She's amazed.
Does Polly still have the poker, I'm guessing?
Well, you never said you dropped it. So
No, I never
I'll
said
say
I
yes.
dropped it. No. Yeah. Okay. I think that if Binky is not looking like he's tapping out and is not looking like he's going to give up and do as Lady Caroline says, I think she's going to bonk him on the head with the poker. Not hard enough to try and kill or anything, but just try and make him a bit woozy so that he can be picked up like a bag of wet laundry and slung over somebody's shoulder so that he can actually, he's not going to fight back and that we're going to get him and bring him out.
Right, non-lethal damage. Just a little bump on the head.
Yeah, just to make him woozy
Knockout
enough
blow.
to not fight back. Yeah. Because
Okay.
he's held, isn't he? He's prone at this point.
Oh yes, yeah. He's not going anywhere. She has him firmly locked.
Yeah.
Up.
I mean,
Okay.
if he looks like he's going to cooperate, she won't, but it doesn't seem that way. I don't know. Lynn, is he cooperating? Nah.
No, he wants to see what they're doing in that room.
Oh no. Boink.
Polly, roll me a strength
Yes.
check.
Oh, okay. I hope I don't break your head or anything, Lynn. I'm so sorry if I do. 61 against 70, so that's a comfortable pass.
Okay. So you kind of take a minute to kind of gauge just a breath or two, and then you kind of Polly, it stuns you enough. It doesn't quite knock you out, but it stuns you. And for just a few moments, it kind of shakes. You feel like yourself again for just a couple of moments.
Will you stop being a little twat?
Honestly, Caro, your language is quite like a Navi's. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. What are you doing?
Prison, dear. That's what did it. I'll let go of him if he seems like he's going to behave himself now.
You feel like you're more in control of yourself, Binky. You don't know what is in the other room. But you can start to feel that draw coming back. You don't think if you don't get out of here, you don't think you'll have long before you're going to rush back into that, being in that state.
I need to get out of here. We need to go.
Yes, we do need to go. That just, exactly the other way, please. Now.
Yes, definitely that. And he's gonna start running because if he doesn't, he's yeah.
Okay. So you are heading back to the original plan and heading down the stairs? Or are you
Yeah.
going a different direction?
Yeah, I think down the stairs and then to the southwest corner, or just
Yes.
anywhere out towards that back corner and just trying to get out.
Okay. Use to hightail it down the stairs very, very quickly. As Lizzie, you see her as you head out. She is slowly trying to quietly and stealthily sneak into the room above as you leave. You manage to get down to the stairs, and again, it is the servants' quarters. You see the kitchen off to one side. You see various rooms down a rather narrow hallway. And through the kitchen area, there does seem to be an area that almost like a little foyer, and then a door that seems to go to the outside. It is not in the direction of the terrace where you hear the creak of the wall this old crumbling stone wall, as it desperately tries to stay up against the weight and the force of the creature, the thing that as it slides, as it's heading up to the second floor. You are able to open the door. It is not locked. And you go out, and there you see a beautiful Rolls Royce, a silver ghost, 1909, almost brand new. It is a gorgeous car, with room enough for four, which is just enough for the four of you. You start to hear the wall give way on the outside of the building.
Everyone in the car. Can anyone besides me drive?
Base, I guess.
Not me.
No. Nope.
Okay. Well, it's time to start saying your prayers, ladies. And I will just jump in the driver's seat and start getting things sorted out to go.
Okay. So Holly is driving? Did I get that?
No,
not me.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
Binky.
Nope.
Binky's driving.
driving.
Binky's driving. Sorry.
Wally has no.
Yeah.
Wally's never been in a car.
Binky
before, I
has
don't think.
50% in
There we
my
go.
auto.
Wonderful.
Oh.
Just
So
don't get your
60
fifth
points of
fumble.
unspent luck.
Don't get your
This
fifth fumble
cannot
here,
be
Lynne.
more stubborn than Chestnut.
Yes, precisely. Yes.
You can't
I
put
think-
carrots in a Rolls Royce. That's not going to help.
Really not. Right. Would you like me to give you a drive roll?
First, let's find out if the keys are there, or if you're going to have to hotwire it, how to start it. So I have a very special D2. It is the drink me potion, a 1 or a 2. Which one would you like? The 1 or the 2?
Someone else pick, because if it's a 50-50 chance, I will pick the wrong one.
1.
One. Okay.
Sure.
And Lady Caroline, your sister definitely has your back, as that is a 1. So yes, as you reach down, you do see that the keys are in the ignition, probably left there from the chauffeur, just to make an ease. So yes, go ahead and make me a drive roll.
Okay, dice, do not, or you are going in that jail. Yeah, hey, threatening worked. That's 35 out of 50. And if I need to make it a hard success, I am quite happy to spend that luck.
You go ahead and spend the luck. That way you haven't been behind the wheel of this particular model, but you have driven Rolls-Royce before. So you're able to pick up on it fairly quickly with a hard success. And as you get the motor started, 2 figures in black robes run out from the main French doors on the main floor. I can talk. And running towards the vehicle. You think that they take just a beat as they notice faces looking out at them from the vehicle. But then the blood-curdling murder cry from a woman with brandishing a large knife above her as she's rushing at them. They go in, just that breaks them out of the reverie, and they start to try to open the doors.
Foot to the floor, and we're off.
Yes.
You pedal to the metal, and the car begins to roll away. As it does, you hear out the window a sickening thunk as the knife finally finds its home in the back of Palmerston.
Hell yeah. Go off,
Renly-
Dream.
To a nicer chap.
Renly yells and lunges at Lizzie, and they fall to the ground, tumbling, as the creature, as the dark young of Shub-Niggurath comes around the corner and sees everything and rushes forward, not towards the car as you speed away, but at what you believe he's going for. Not Abbott, not even Lizzie, but to Palmerston. It dives onto the body of Palmerston. And then something happens that you see in the rearview mirror. The clouds part, the cold, dark vista of stars and blackness above. You feel it reaching out, and almost all the light being sucked away. The creature's tendrils, tentacles, and its arms, all of them reach up to the sky. And you feel almost like a vacuum, this sucking. Like all the air is being sucked out of the area. And you see this thing pulled up into the sky. And it disappears. Then it
Don't know
almost
what
feels
they
like
put in that brandy, but dear Lord.
you almost feel like the air rushes back to fill the space as you drive down the road away from the crumbling, and you can now see that the part of the house where the creature crawled is completely crumbled away. And you drive away, leaving all those behind in whatever is left of them, leaving behind the horrors that came from the sky. And with that, we bring this scenario to a close. But before we go, I'd like to thank all of our cast once again for joining us for Midsummer Night's Darkness. Again, this was written by Jane Renly, and it is available in through RPG in the Miskatonic repository. It is also part of the International Women's Day bundle that is currently available. I please recommend go ahead and grabbing that. You're not going to find a better deal. All of our cast, as we do, as is tradition here at the Playhouse, we'd love to know maybe one point of the scenario while it is still fresh in your mind that stands out the most to you. Let's go ahead and we will go around the room. We'll start back with Rina.
I think the moment when we were about to get into a fight with the lads back at the village and the postmistress just jumped in and put her hands on her hips and says, "Not today." Just that beautiful little moment of someone finding her voice after getting to know her a little bit and knowing she's a bit more on the timid side and wanting to get involved, like seeing her actually get involved. That was a beautiful moment.
And how about Lydia?
My first thought would have been the same as Rina as well. I think that was such a wonderful moment and finding her courage and finding her voice. But I should go for something else, which is I really liked that moment of recognition of the mythos element. You don't tend to see the dark young half as often as I would like to see them in scenarios. So it was just one of those, yay! Oh, it's a dark young of Shropshire. So I thought that was just a wonderful moment. And your description as well, the description of that darkness and the pus dripping from it and the mouths. Yes, and I guess I think I'd like to maybe ask, if you were in the forest alone, would you rather meet a man or a dark young of Shropshire?
Dark young, any day.
I don't know which
I'll
one.
take the dark young.
Well, I cannot take full credit for that description. That was absolutely the author.
Well, it was wonderful.
Beautifully described.
Very nicely done.
So, Yeti, what about you? What was your moment?
Despite letting her down in her last fight, Lizzie with the knife in the narrow backstairs.
Yes,
it's so easy to have, an NPC suffer tragically and break down and whoops, so she disappeared. Oh well, there goes the forgettable NPC tragic means to an end. Oh, but she makes a comeback. You go stab him now.
And how about you, Lynne? What was your moment for this?
Well, everybody before me has literally gone down the list. I mean, it was all a great deal of fun. I completely agree. Fantastic description of the dark young there. And of those three moments that have been mentioned, I would have to say that my favourite was the sort of like the mental image of Holly standing at that window, realizing that thing was not a dream, it is real, and it is coming to get everybody. That was a very nice mental image, very well written and performed.
As a keeper, during the break, for all of our viewers, during the break, when the cast asked me how things were on my end, and I said they had thrown me for a total loop, and that they were really challenging me, and that I would not explain why or how until the very end. So now I can reveal, when all of you opted to enter the forest and head to the hall right away. It's okay. I mean, like, we can work with it. But there is an interesting note in the scenario, and it is just a note to the keeper. It says, if you do let the party get to basically to the hall where there is a sacred circle, there was a summoning circle right there on the grounds. And the way you were talking about going in and doing this reconnaissance around the building would have led you directly to it. If you do let the party get to the sacred circle, you will need to run a different scenario.
Nothing wrong with total party kills in one shots. It's fine.
So that was the big monkey wrench. That was, that was the challenge that you all threw to me, which I always adore and abhor challenges in equal measure, but generally I love to see. So I hope that a little circumvent bits and pieces work to keep the story on track, because I really wanted to see how everyone would play this out. But
It was great fun, thank you. And we have a note from our beloved Hedge, in case anyone hasn't
Yes.
seen it. Can we shout out to Bill Bodden, please? You sent us some cash. Hi, Bill.
Oh,
Long time.
yeah.
Hi, Bill.
Thank
Thank you,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Thanks so much.
Thank
I've known Bill
you.
for years. He's an absolute sweetheart. So thank you very
Oh.
much, Bill.
Thank you, Bill, for supporting the Miskatonic Playhouse. Truly, we are able to do what we are able to do because of the generosity and enthusiasm of everybody who is a part of it, whether you are watching, whether you are supporting through our coffee. Please, if you would like to support us, please, please, please. I believe that information for our Ko-Fi or coffee, I'm still not sure how it's pronounced these days. The link is in the chat. Again, we were able to do this because of the generosity and the enthusiasm of everybody out there, everyone who supports us. And we are eternally grateful for all the support that we are able to get. I know Newman and Hedge and everybody, all the staff and the crew and everybody who's a part of the Playhouse. We love doing what we do. This is some of our happy places, even with the mythos. We've made friends with it, or at least there's a truce, or we keep them in the closet and whatever. That's a long story. But anyway, please join us. Join us on our Discord for the Miskatonic Playhouse. You can find pretty much find us on the majority of the big socials. You can always find out what's coming down the pipeline. We've got stuff coming. There's a whole slew of things. So go to any of those spots. Definitely join us on the Discord to talk more. One more time for our cast, and I'm going to go in reverse order this time. I'm going to start with you, Lynne. Please let us know again who you are, where they can find you, what you're doing, any projects coming down the pipeline. What can you tell me? And yes, we got ChasmCon US coming down the pipeline in just a handful of weeks. So Lynne, please.
I am Lynne Hardy. I am the line editor for the Rivers of London role-playing game at Chaosium, and I'm going to say senior associate editor for Call of Cthulhu because I've been doing it longer than all the rest of them. I will be at Chaosium Con US in a few weeks' time, and I'm looking forward to getting to spend time with all of you. And thank you so much, Heather. This has been an absolute blast. And my fellow cast members, thank you for being awesome as always.
Thank you for joining us, Lynne. It's again huge honor and appreciate it. And now I can come up to you at Chaosium Con and we can chat for without me looking like some weird stalker. Okay, let's go to Yeti.
Sure. Thank you so much for this game. I don't have anything of my own to plug really. But if my voice doesn't annoy anybody too horribly, they should totally go and check out Hedge's actual play of Empress of Humanity.
Yes. You're in that. You're in that campaign, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
going? Yes. Empress of Humanity. John Hedge put this together. It's his own independent system. It is brilliant. I was part of one of the play testers for it. Had an absolute blast. And if my schedule had allowed it, I'd be playing with Yeti in that too, because I cannot turn down the project, it seems. And I love playing with it. But yes, please go and check out and support Embers of Humanity and that group, and support our lovely embroidered Yeti on that. Lydia.
Hi, everybody. You can find me right here at the Playhouse in the Regency campaign, Cult of Culpability. And you can also find me at the Gaslight scenario, the Gaslight campaign, season 1 of which is already dropped, and a few other scenarios as well, which have taken place. And outside of the Playhouse, you can find me at the podcast Lightless Beacons, which Heather is also a very, very wonderful member of. We're so pleased to have her. We launched last Halloween, and we've just finished putting out season 1. Scenario that we've just finished was Mask of Desire, which I believe, Lynne, you edited. Is that right?
Yeah.
You were involved in that, Mask of Desire? From Does Not
yes.
Forgive?
Yes.
Yes, very fond of that one. It's a 1-to-1 scenario. It was a lot of fun to record.
Oh, we
which
know
was
what
also
you're
my-
like with 1-to-1 scenarios.
Well, this was actually my keeping debut. I kept
Oh,
this one.
wonderful.
Yeah. So come along and check us out. I will not be at Chaosium Con US, but I will be at Chaosium Con UK later this year. So if anybody's coming, feel free to come and say hello if you see me around the place.
Does that mean we finally get to meet in person?
I do hope so. I was going to ask, are you going to be there? Yes, I shall be there all 3 days, depending on trains. I don't know when the last train leaves on the Sunday, but I shall be there for as long as I can be.
The mythos brings people together, people.
It
See?
does.
It
It's a
does. It
beautiful
really,
thing.
really does.
It's surprisingly whole,some.
And yes, I am also part of Lightless Beacons with Lydia. We have season 2 that will be coming out in just a couple of short months now that season 1 has wrapped. We've got a couple-
Coming out in April. We
Yep,
start
we have-
season 2 in April.
Yeah, and if you want to know everything that is coming down the pipeline, get to see the exclusive promos and find out all the ins and outs and all the behind the scenes. Become one of our lamplighters. Again, we also have the Lightless Beacons also has a coffee, Ko-fi. So and a Discord. Please come check us out. We'd love again your support. It's been a ton of fun, and I'm so honored to be part of that. And last but absolutely 100% not least whatsoever, one of my absolute favorite humans on the planet, who I cannot wait to see in just a few short weeks once again, because I miss you throughout the year, and is providing me shelter for the Wednesday night prior to the con starting. Thank you very much. The wonderful, incredible, talented Rina.
Yep. So I'm Rina. My pronouns are they, them. I am a podcaster. You can find me on the Old Ways podcast, where I am the head of Mythos. So I run a ton of Cthulhu-related works over there. I was on the Horror on the Orient Express campaign that we did as well.
Oh, Lady Elizabeth.
I'm also the newest addition to our RuneQuest campaign, Season 2, Adventures in Dragon Pass, which is coming fairly soon. So more Chaosium products there. I'm also the writer of 9 best-selling Call of Cthulhu scenarios on DriveThruRPG, including the gold bestseller Saturday the 14th, which was run here on the Playhouse. And they did a phenomenal job of it. And my scenario Jolene, which I had the pleasure of running for the Playhouse as well. And my latest scenario is Friends of Dorothy, which is a 1980s queer Call of Cthulhu scenario. A lot of fun. Just went to print. I'm very excited about that. And I have an upcoming collection called Cthulhu Once Upon a Time, which is mythos twists on classic fairy tales. And it's got scenarios by myself, Heather, Hedge, and Matt Doc Tracy. That'll be out here in the next couple of weeks. So I hope y'all will pick that up and enjoy it. You can also find me on Ain't Slayed Nobody, where I'm on the Bleaker Trails Down Darker Trails campaign, as well as main cast and a bunch of one-shots and improvs. And you can find me on How We Roll, here on the Miskatonic Playhouse, Symphony Entertainment, and a bunch of other places where I pop up occasionally. So you can find me in a lot of places. Happy to chat, happy to talk about Cthulhu scenarios, all sorts of things. And thanks again for having me.
And thank you. Yes, our one Once Upon a Cthulhu, the anthology with the 4 scenarios from us. I am so excited that Rina asked me to be part of that. It'll be my first title on the Miskatonic repository, and I'm not sure I could ask for a better group to be included in. And also, I'll see you probably on Monday, Rina, when we record the next couple of episodes of RuneQuest, as I'm on there. But yes, I guess it's my turn. Yes, I am ValyGirl Heather, otherwise known as Heather Ashcraft, in the supposed mysteries of real life, though this is my happy place. I am an RPG freelancer, indie business owner, and basically I've been doing writing, running, creating, doing lots of other things, a lot of live action. That's pretty much my base up until the last several years. And now I am finally pushing into the actual like writing of scenarios. But having found a very, very happy place being on here on Playhouse, I am also on Old Ways Podcast, Symphony Entertainment, and of course, Lightless Beacons, because I absolutely adore being on here. You can find me on pretty much all the socials. And for an actual day job, I am the social media manager of a small indie RPG company called Skydawn Game Studios. And we've got stuff coming down the pipeline for that. But that's enough. Too much talking. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has been an incredible experience, having all of you as part of the cast, being asked to do this, and having all of you join us for this. But for now, we are going to close the curtain on the Playhouse one more time. Again, please, if you give us a support, if you come onto our Discord, you'll find everything that's coming down the pipeline. There's always more, and we look forward to bringing it to you. Until then, have a good night. Sleep well.